WKNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
All right, everybody, gather in. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on 1410 ESPN Radio. How are all of you? I hope you've had a great day, and we're excited to be hanging out with you for the next 3 hours coming up. Again, we are live on 1410 Wing AM, streaming live at wingam.com, and then live on Facebook and YouTube. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook and ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. There's many ways you could take in the Justin Kinner Show weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and we're excited about this new Facebook, YouTube venture, too, because we've been having a lot of fun with everyone tuning in and hanging out with us each and every afternoon. Kev, you've had a busy day.
Hectic, very hectic day, but I'm happy to be on the air today talking some good sports with you.
Now, you said last night was a little hectic DoorDash delivery night because the hospital, you don't know which entrance to go. So last night's DoorDash delivery for you was just a little hectic. DoorDash Kev, DoorDash Kinner, DoorDash Ray, where are you at?
4 different entry points. None of them were the right one.
Yeah. Always a pain, but hey, money's still green. That's all that matters.
Facts.
All right, we're going to open things up here and hit the ground running right away. ESPN's NFL Power Rankings. And, of course, I'm starting to go through this, and I'm gearing up. I mean, like we talked about many times throughout the week, we are, November? We're not that far into the year yet. September 10th is the very first NFL game of the season. I mean, we talked yesterday, too. I mean, the very first college football game of the season is kicking off this Saturday on ESPN, and we didn't think it would get to that point. So it's good that we are officially at that point where we are starting to embark on some live football. High school football on Friday night, the ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week. Keith Byers and I will have the call for Fairmont Centerville. High school football kicks off this Friday night. College technically kind of sort of kicks off, even though it is only Austin Peay. But you know what? With the way things have been going this year, I didn't think we would even get to see Austin Peay play football this year. So I'll probably be watching, to be honest with you. The NFL kicks off on September 10th with the Houston Texans and the Chiefs, and the reigning Super Bowl defending Chiefs right there. So we're looking forward to that coming up. I'm excited about that matchup. And again, I'm getting right away in the comments section. We're getting some Reds stuff. A little league-based running mistake cost the Reds last night. Dennis, absolutely. We're going to get into some Reds talk in a moment because I did realize, but I didn't realize it was creeping up so quickly. August 31st coming up is the Major League Baseball trade deadline. That's Monday. And the Reds have some big decisions to make. Dennis, thank you. We're going to get to the Reds stuff coming up in a moment. But I want to open up with the NFL Power Rankings and where our teams kind of fall within that as we currently sit here today. And it's interesting because I'm like, what do these power rankings tell us whenever we start to look at these? And let's start off right off the bat, Kev. Number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously. Number 2, the Baltimore Ravens. Number 3, the San Francisco 49ers. So that's your top 3 teams according to ESPN's Power Rankings. Obviously, you have the Chiefs. Number 1 should be the Ravens. Number 2, you have the reigning MVP and Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the San Francisco 49ers, who, of course, got to last year's Super Bowl, had a lead pretty much the entire game and squandered it there at the end. They bring pretty much everybody back. And, of course, it's another full year for Garoppolo and company. So we'll see what they're able to pull off. They add Trent Williams, too, to that offensive line to help protect their quarterback. San Francisco is going to be pretty good again this year. I think a lot of people were taken back by them last year because, of course, there's a reason they were picking so high in the draft to be able to acquire Nick Bosa.
Right.
And they were able to, with everyone healthy and that redefined defense, they were able to put on the show last year.
What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to be really that good? Number 2 in the league? Because that whole thing about Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, let's see. Who was in the Super Bowl? I guess the Rams. The Rams are a prime example of that Super Bowl hangover team. That's the teams that lose.
Falcons.
The Falcons have not been the same since that Super Bowl. They were at 31-3, of course, and then they end 28-3, and then they end up losing the entire Super Bowl. Of course, the Rams have not looked the same. In fact, the Rams, the entire NFL last year, the coaching landscape in the NFL was totally dictated around. It was totally predicated around: have you shared a meal with Sean McVay? Have you rubbed elbows with Sean McVay? Have you made eye contact in an elevator with Sean McVay? That's how everyone was able. That's how everybody was able to honestly, get coaching jobs in the NFL last year. That's how the Bengals landed their 12-year-old just out of high school coach in Zach Taylor. The guy had no credibility. The guy he hasn't accomplished anything to deserve being a head coach of the National Football League. But somehow the Bengals decided, you know what, we're going to hire him. So we'll see how that's working out. 2-14, nice start by the way. But the Rams have not been the same. They have the offense totally took a step back last year. Of course, they've already lost Gurley after giving him that huge deal 2 years ago. He's no longer even with the offense. You lost Cooks. You traded him away. So I'm not really sure exactly what the Rams offensive attack is going to look like. We'll get to them in a moment because they're higher in the NFL power rankings than I thought they were going to be.
Okay. Who's 4?
We got the New Orleans Saints at number 4, of course, and I think that's an interesting one right there. Again, they've been so close to being able to make a run in the playoffs the last couple of years. Obviously, last year was just a straight-up loss to the Minnesota Vikings. Didn't need the refs' help in that, although it did come close to putting the game in the refs' hands, which I thought was pretty interesting. The Seattle Seahawks coming in at number 5, Tom Brady and his new team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming in at number 6, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at 7, and then the surprise team in the top 10, 2 surprise teams in the top 10 and back-to-back, actually, the Dallas Cowboys coming in at number 8. I'm still not sold on the Dallas Cowboys being a top 10 team in the National Football League, but we'll see. Again, I do like who they added in CeeDee Lamb in the draft. I think that was a huge get, especially pairing him up with Amari Cooper. And then, of course, you do have Zeke Elliott. That offensive line's still strong, and there's talks of them still adding possibly a free agent, free safety that, of course, became available thanks to the Ravens.
Young Earl Thomas, because they missed out on, drawing a blank on his name, Jamal Adams, when he got traded from the Jets to the Seahawks. So they missed out on that. So they're going to go ahead and try to get Earl Thomas. What if they do pick up Earl Thomas? Would you be cool with them being in the top 10?
Their defense is a question mark, but I think it all comes down to their offense. We're just sitting here acting like the Cowboys' offense is just great, and it's great on paper. But they were very similar to the Browns last year, where on paper you're looking at this team saying, how in the world are they losing games? And the Cowboys kept losing games, and they weren't winning the games they were supposed to, and somehow they missed the playoffs. That's a problem. So I'm not going to be sold on that offense because, if you only add a rookie to your offense, I'm not going to sit here and say that team's better than what they were last year.
Whole new coaching staff.
That's going to help. I think that, and of course, when you look at McCarthy, he's never had a great running back, and he has that in Zeke now. But again, you also, we saw what McCarthy was able to do with an all-time great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Without an all-time great running back, well, now you have a great running back, but you don't have an all-time great quarterback. So how is that balance going to impact how McCarthy's offense looks with the Dallas Cowboys? That is obviously going to be key. How about the Tennessee Titans? Shout out to Schrody, by the way. Every time I even mention the Titans, he's right away blowing up my inbox. So the Titans coming in at number 9, again, had a great showing last year, especially in the playoffs, knocking out the New England Patriots. That was always, that was key too. But the Tennessee Titans coming in at number 9. Ryan Tannehill gets that big deal in the offseason, of course, and they go big and give max dollars to their running back as well. That's going to be key. I'm not a big fan of the offense outside of the run game. They're Derrick Henry, and that's about it. That's my problem with the Titans. I'm sorry.
That defense is legit, though.
There's a lot of good defense, but defenses.
Is there a lot of good defenses?
You saw the Niners last year got there
to the Super Bowl,
but their quarterback's still better than Tannehill. No, there's no 4, 5, 7, 9, 4, 6, 4. Tannehill or Garoppolo. I'm going with Garoppolo every day. For one, Garoppolo is just a straight up winner. Bottom line, Tannehill, they've done pretty well with him, but how many years has Tannehill been in the league to prove that he could do what he did last year? We'll see if they're able to replicate that from last year to this year. The Minnesota.
Hold on. Garoppolo got paid off of 3 games with the Patriots.
Not just 3 games with the Patriots. He, after being traded, the Niners, who were I think they only had 10 wins or 2 wins whenever they acquired Garoppolo in that trade. Mm-hmm. And then they go on to win 6 of their last 8. And the Niners were rolling. They felt good. That's why they went and added all the acquisitions that they did in the offseason. And then Garoppolo goes down very early on in the season. And then the Niners are in a position where they all of a sudden have the number 2 pick to get Nick Bosa. So, look, I know what you're saying. Garoppolo doesn't always pass the eye test, but what my eyes tell me is that when he's on the field, all that team does is win. And when he's not on the field, that team is drafting high in the draft like they did in back-to-back seasons.
Same thing could be said for the Titans with Tannehill. They had
Did Tannehill get him to a Super Bowl?
Got him to the AFC Championship.
Oh, close.
Got him to the AFC Championship. Close. And before that, they had Mariota at the helm, and they were going nowhere. They were just running in place over and over. He started taking shots downfield, making big plays. I mean, yes, it's predicated around the running game, but A.J. Brown's a good receiver. Corey Davis is decent. They started taking shots downfield, things that Marcus Mariota was not doing. I don't know why he wouldn't do it, but he wasn't doing it. He wouldn't pull the trigger on those shots downfield. The whole offense was based around play action, going deep. And if you're not even attempting to make those passes, you can't even make anything happen.
You're glad you brought up A.J. Brown, by the way. Dennis on Facebook, again, in the comment section says A.J. Brown, rising star. And obviously that's going to be key as far as that's concerned. Corey Davis is another one for the Titans. He's on the hot seat kind of heading in. They're trying to figure out what they have exactly with him as far as that's concerned. How about the Minnesota Vikings coming in at number 10? They're
way too high.
They're okay.
That's the first one I'm going to say that's too high.
More than the Cowboys. You're okay with the Cowboys being at number 8.
I'm okay with that. Especially if they go ahead and make Earl Thomas.
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 It's all right. I forgot his name earlier. I ain't going to make fun of you for that because earlier I just said free safety. I couldn't even think of his name. So that's how I tried to sneak that in. That's like when I call games and I can't think of their name. I'm like, number 25. So that's kind of where we are at with that. But the Vikings coming in, and of course, they're talking about that offensive line right now. Pat Elflein, again, that's an interesting name right there, of course, but he's on the hot seat coming into this season, according to this article, as far as that's concerned. But look, we'll see what they do. They have a second-year guard in Drew Samia, again, who's on that offensive line too. Look, I just think the Vikings are good, but you also lost your number one receiver too. So I agree with you. 10 for the Vikings, that's a little way too high.
I mean, not only did they lose Stefon Diggs, but they lost their play caller. He's now the coach of the Browns.
Yeah, he is.
And you got Dalvin Cook in a contract dispute. So that's 3. That's 3 things up against you already. And Kirk Cousins is your quarterback. So really that's 4.
By the way, I usually am always pro team when it comes to the negotiations with players because I'm like, hey, there's always justification. Like if you're not good enough, if they think you're not good enough to play there, you're not good enough to play there. That's no different than in our everyday lives when we're looking for jobs. If a company doesn't think we, belong there, they just won't hire us. That's why I don't feel bad for players in those situations. They face what we do. But what I have a problem with is, and I have to give Dalvin Cook a lot of credit, he has no business being in camp right now. But he showed good faith and arrived anyways. And that organization hasn't even spoke to him.
And is biting him in the butt.
So this is where it's like I try not to, you know what I mean? Like I would have been like, you know what? He needs to be in camp because no matter how good he is or thinks he is, that position, there's way too many other running backs out there that the Vikings are going to be able to go out and get if he tries to play hardball with them. Maybe not this season, but next off season. So that's where I would have been had he not shown up to camp. But I give him credit. He shows up to camp, shows good faith, and the Vikings don't even talk to him. Like, there has to be a little give and take. Like, it's no different than when you apply at a job. I'm always one of those where, like, okay, if you don't get the job, fine, but you always hope that company's going to reach out and at least say, hey, we're sorry, we went in a different direction, blah, blah, blah. The Vikings need to do that same thing as far as that's concerned, because I think that it's wrong, in my opinion. How about number 11, the Buffalo Bills? Buffalo Bills, number 11. They're the team that I thought, really, I would flip with the Titans. I think they could be in the top 10, but I think they're very similar. They have a quarterback both quarterbacks, good quarterbacks. Are they that next level quarterback? I think that's why there's a ceiling. I think the Bills have a ceiling, and I think the Titans have a ceiling, and that ceiling is because of those quarterbacks. But both defenses are good enough that if you had the right quarterback, I think that they're just as good as some of the top teams in the National Football League. I think you put a Kirk Cousins on the Titans or a Bills team, and all of a sudden, and by the way, Cousins, not my cup of tea, but that playmaking quarterback with Derrick Henry with the Titans, like, again, there's no rumors of that happening. All I'm saying is I'm giving an example because I think they just need an uptick at quarterback. I think they just need a little bit more of a playmaking quarterback to take them to that next level. But the Bills is kind of where I'm at with that as far as that's concerned. But they did take a huge jump last year, obviously.
I got no problem with where they are. They made the playoffs last year for the first time, and God knows how long. They're projected to win the AFC East. So I have no problem with that. Got no problem with them up there.
All right. And again, this one coming in from Dennis saying AJ Brown, or not AJ Brown, I'm sorry. This comes in from Chris. I apologize. I clicked on the wrong one. Chris says, please tell me that the Browns aren't ranked better than the Bengals. So we'll get to that. And just to spoiler alert, yes, they are. And I don't even know why you're questioning that. They're ranked higher than the Bengals. And I still think the Browns are ranked way too low. But we'll get to that coming up here in a moment. Down the list, the Eagles coming in at number 12. My thing is when we talk about the Eagles and Cowboys being so close, how is there 5 teams between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles? If anything, I think you should flip-flop them here. Are the Cowboys that much better than the Eagles? When every time I turn on the television on any NFL kind of programming, it's always about the Cowboys or the Eagles are the favorites to win that division. I find this list interesting as far as having the Cowboys ranked above the Philadelphia Eagles, especially with that kind of gap.
The biggest thing I could take away from that is Dak is available. You can say whatever you want to about his play, his up and down play. He's on the field. Carson Wentz is not on the field. You know, week in and week out that, all right, man, at least we got a chance because Dak, he's going to play. Carson Wentz, he may not. He'll come in for 5 weeks, miss 5 weeks, and then come in the last 3 weeks of the season, try to save the day. I don't like to use the term injury prone, but he is one of those guys that you seem like he's always banged up. He's always missing time.
No, we're not on the Bengals and AJ Green yet. Oh, you were talking about Carson Wentz. My bad. Sorry. I thought we skipped ahead of my notes here. Oh, man. I was like, oh, man, we jumped to the Bengals already? We're talking AJ Green? By the way, still hasn't been on the practice field, but that's a conversation for later. But no, I agree. I think Carson Wentz is the most interesting figure in the National Football League right now because you really don't know who he is. They've done a lot of winning with him. They've won a Super Bowl since drafting him, but he didn't win him that Super Bowl. But you know what I mean? But like the regular season, I'm not comparing it to Ohio State exactly, but it reminds me of that 2014 season where how much of that championship was JT Barrett responsible for? Well, how much of that Super Bowl was Carson Wentz responsible for? You know what I'm saying? What did I say? Did I say national championship? I hope I said that right. Yeah. Okay. So how much of that national championship in 2014 was JT Barrett responsible for?
The regular season.
But that's where we're at with Carson Wentz. But it's like, but then, and again, this is where it separates a little bit when you're looking at Ohio State's situation versus the Eagles in the NFL, because the difference is Nick Foles, although did have one hell of a run in the playoffs and one Super Bowl MVP, no one looked at him and said, oh, he's a franchise quarterback. Cardale Jones really had people scratching their heads saying, man, what do we do? Do we go back to Cardale Jones, right, who just put on one hell of an offensive performance, not just in one game, but the 3 biggest games in the history of the program, in my opinion, especially that being the inaugural season of the college football playoff.
Right.
But the Eagles are hard to figure out. Carson Wentz is hard to figure out. I think he's good. I mean, he's shown flashes of being good, but you're right. We don't know if he's good because you know how we judge you on whether you're good or not is when you could do it on the biggest stage. And we just don't know. He's a good regular season quarterback as of right now, but the guy disappears literally. not like his play disappears on the field. He literally disappears every season when we get to that postseason. So that's where I'm at as far as that is concerned. So the Eagles will be interesting as far as that's concerned. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in at number 13? Pittsburgh Steelers at number 13. The player to look out for as far as being on the hot seat, they say Juju Smith-Schuster, which I'm never a big fan of saying that. I mean, I've seen a lot of wide receivers on these hot seats, and I don't get that. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster, he shouldn't be your number one wide receiver. I think he is. I put him in that Jarvis Landry conversation where I think the Steelers still need that number one guy.
That's fair.
And that's no slight against Juju Smith-Schuster because I think Jarvis Landry is a hell of a wide receiver. And they're just guys that you can win with, but I still think you need that complimentary number one. Juju Smith-Schuster should not be on the Pittsburgh Steelers hot seat, in my opinion. I like Juju Smith-Schuster mainly because I enjoy saying his name. But outside of that, but no, he's a good wide receiver. He should not be on the hot seat. But I also don't look at him as, I think one of the problems the Steelers have is he is your number one target. And he probably shouldn't be, but that's not a slight at him. That's just that's a team need that you're pointing out. That's not a slight at Juju Smith-Schuster. We did that with the Browns and Jarvis Landry. Good receiver, but he's not. He shouldn't be your number one, but he's a perfect number 2.
Juju is a very good wide receiver. When all the attention went on him when AB left the Steelers, he underperformed and he got hurt. And Big Ben got hurt. So it was just like a domino effect. So him being on the hot seat, I think that's a little premature. If he has another bad season with Big Ben out there, then we have a problem. Like a guy like James Washington who can only run one route, that's a person that should be on the hot seat. But I've been saying this since I've jumped on the show with you. Deontay Johnson will have a big season for the Pittsburgh Steelers at wide receiver. He will be the new number one receiver in Pittsburgh.
To be fair to Juju Smith-Schuster,
I thought you liked saying his name.
It's a challenge. I like challenges. Maybe he could be a number one if you don't have Duck Goose throwing the ball to you. Duck Hodges, and so that's maybe we see a breakout year for Juju Smith-Schuster, who has shown signs in years past.
His second year was a breakout year. He was balled out of control.
With Big Ben.
Yeah, with Big Ben and AB, where, you roll coverage over there. And like they did a ton of things with Juju because he's a big body guy and he can run, he can play in the slot, he can play outside. He's a hell of a wide receiver. But, when you don't have the number one guy throwing you the ball, you're not going to put up crazy numbers. And if you got arguably the best receiver in the league leave the team, you're not going to put up those kind of numbers. He's not one of these DeAndre Hopkins types. He's not that good, but he's good enough.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are an interesting team right now. I think that, if you want to rank them that high, fine. But they're another question mark too, because Big Ben, you're getting Big Ben back, right. But what does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean? So that's going to be key as well. The Colts coming in at number 14. They're a hot seat player, Marlon Mack, and I couldn't agree with that even more. I don't like when they put easily replaceable positions on there. Like you can go like receiver, like the positions to me that are the most difficult to replace are obviously quarterback, secondary guys, offensive linemen. Like those should be your true hot seat guys. The guys that man, we really need an upgrade there.
Right.
A running back should not be a hot seat guy. I mean, he technically you could look at him and say, oh man, I don't know what we're going to do with him after this season. Fine. But if that's, you would think that the Colts are Super Bowl favorites if your biggest question mark is, a running back. First of all, the reason Marlon Mack is considered on the hot seat running back for the Colts is because they just went out and got Jonathan Taylor,
right.
Which, by the way, in today's climate, he's not on the hot seat. He's as good as gone. Marlon Mack is as good as gone because that's what a lot of teams are doing right now. We've debated this too. There's some running backs that make you stop and think. Obviously, Derrick Henry with the Titans, they decided, hey, he's just too good for us to just take our chances of finding another running back. Sure, we can get another running back. There's good running backs out there, but there's no Derrick Henrys out there. Marlon Mack's good, but he's one of those that there's other Marlon Macks out there. You can get other 1,000-yard backs pretty, shouldn't say easily, but yeah, pretty easily. But you can't go get a Derrick Henry. It's hard to find a Zeke, as much as it pains me to say. And it's not a shot at Zeke. It's one of those where I'm just adamant. I'm not 4 teams paying running backs. I'm going to have to be, face that with the Browns coming up with Chubb when that time comes. But no, Marlon Mack, of course this seat's hot because he's as good as gone. If Jonathan Taylor, the only thing that can go well for Marlon Mack is if Jonathan Taylor has a bad rookie season, which I don't anticipate happening. So the Colts being at 14, I think they're that tweener team. Again, you go out and you get, veteran quarterback, obviously. How good is he going to be with this team? Who knows? And Phillip Rivers, of course, is who we're talking about here. So how good can the Colts be, especially in that division? It's a toss-up as far as that's concerned.
Man, Phillip Rivers has struggled for like the last 3 seasons, man. I'm just not – it's kind of like over for him. And for me, that's why I got my eyes on Big Ben because they came in the same year. We've already seen Eli fall off and now retire. It's that time. It's that time for the next guy in that group to fall off and retire. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Big Ben's turn to fall off? Because Phillip Rivers has already fallen off. He's still in the league. So Big Ben, it's on you. Phillip Rivers, can you make a bounce back with the Colts? We're going to see.
Yeah, keep in mind, too, they're the 3rd best team in that division because the Texans, although they've lost some, pretty key pieces, especially on the offensive side with losing their top receiver, they're still probably the number 1 team in that division. And you could argue the Texans or the Titans. Who is the number 1 team in that AFC South division? Is it the Texans or Titans? But the Colts, though, like let's say Phillip Rivers has not a breakout year because he's a veteran, but let's say he has a comeback year. They have weapons in Indianapolis. They have a good offensive line. They have a strong running game.
Yeah.
That defense is much improved. The Colts could be that surprise. I hate to say surprise because they're expected to win games, but they could be that team that all of a sudden is sitting in first place in that division at the halfway point of the season, it wouldn't surprise me. But I think the odds-on favorites right now, of course, I mean, with the Titans being as viewed as good as they are, I think the Titans.
Got to be. With that defense, with that run game, it's got to be them. And that offensive line. Even though they lost one guy to the Browns and everything like that, but I still would go with the Titans.
All right, Dennis says Colts a little underrated. Pick up Rivers, Buckner, Tyler Schrody. There he is. He says tighten up. Tighten up. Let's see who else we got. Back to the Bengals real quick, which we haven't even gotten to yet. But again, I brought up AJ Green a little bit ago. As a Bengals fan, I'm optimistic for the future, but there's no reason we should be ranked above the Browns at this. Oh, good for you, Jacob. I like Jacob. Jacob, you get some brownie points. A realistic Bengals fan. You want to know what's cracking me up? I keep seeing all the Bengals reporters say, former veteran quarterback says that, that Joe Burrow, that he looks great, that he's picking up this offense at ease. He's great. But then you know what's going to happen when he doesn't look great? Well, he didn't have a preseason. He's just a rookie.
So everything I've been saying.
All that stuff, it is what it is. So Bengals, the University of Excuses. That's where they're. You have the Cincinnati Bearcats. It's a great university, but the second best university is the University of Excuses, known as the Cincinnati Bengals. How about that? And then Jacob does say, well, I can say that Joe Burrow is better than Baker Mayfield. Jacob, you just lost all credibility with that one right there. Steve says, this is to you, Kev. He goes, Browns will finish ahead of Pittsburgh. He says their time is over. Sorry, Kev. There you go.
Bring it on.
You're bringing Noah. Yeah.
We got the defense. Our quarterback is back. Big things from the Steelers this year.
Schrody says the Titans defense isn't that good.
Ask Tom Brady.
And then Billy Wright says, no way the Bengals should be above Browns, but we'll have a better quarterback. Why can't everyone just give me a good answer? Like, Billy, you were doing so good in the first half, and then the back half, that's for me and you part ways, man. But no, this is interesting nonetheless with the ESPN Power Rankings, which, by the way, I usually don't pay attention to, but this year is an interesting year in the NFL because of all the shakeup.
Yeah.
For the longest time, it was the same teams we were focused on every single year. It was always the Patriots, the Steelers, the Saints, and you know what I mean, and kind of go from there. And now all of a sudden it's a complete shift. Now, and the Seahawks have been in there too, but now the Chiefs sitting up there at the top, and we don't know when that, we're going to be talking about the Chiefs for the next 5 or 6 years, guaranteed at least. Definitely. Being right up there at the top. The Ravens have put themselves right there in the top of the conversation. Your traditional teams that we've always talked about are no longer in that equation. And that's where I think the NFL is really interesting right now, because we're not talking about the same. The Saints have always been talked about with Drew Brees. It's a complete shakeup. Speaking of the New England Patriots, they come in at number 15. They say who's on the hot seat. Of course, another running back in Sonny Michel. That's fine. I mean, those are one of those where you can look at every name that's on that Patriots roster, and it's not a sexy roster.
Right.
But the Patriot way is winning with non-sexy rosters. But we don't know what the key to that success has been. The key to winning with non-sexy rosters, was that key Tom Brady or was that key Bill Belichick? The thing is, though, you do have a big name on this roster, and that's Cam Newton. But what Cam Newton? That's another part of this equation that I think is interesting. I think the Patriots are ranked too high. I think that they put them at 15 because that's the perfect spot to put them. Not too high, not too low. They're getting the benefit of the doubt because they are the New England Patriots. I just see them as a 5 or 6 win team, even with Cam Newton at quarterback. And it's not because of Cam Newton why they're a 5 or 6 win team. To be honest, they're a 5 or 6 win team because of Cam Newton, because I think they win less games if they don't have Cam Newton, to be honest with you. I just don't think this roster is that good. And the Patriots didn't even try to make it good. They traded away their first round pick. Their only big offseason acquisition was, of course, going out and getting Cam Newton. This was not an organization that was trying to transition itself to post Tom Brady. Well, actually, they were. They were positioning themselves for post Tom Brady to potentially maybe find themselves in a position where a year from now we're talking New England Patriots selecting Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, the kid out of North Dakota State. I mean, who knows? The Cam Newton thing, though, goes against that. So I don't know where the Patriots are going. You don't sign Cam Newton if you're trying to lose games to position draft stock.
Right.
But it just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of signing Cam Newton was. Maybe it's one of those where even if we sign Cam Newton, we know we're still not good enough to make the playoffs or win a Super Bowl. But if Cam Newton has a breakout year, we could at least say, okay, we found our quarterback now. We don't have to worry about drafting one. And now we can add pieces around Cam Newton and go from there. Maybe this is a true tryout year, not just for Cam Newton to the rest of the league, but potentially for the New England Patriots moving forward.
What's the bigger loss of the Patriots? Tom Brady or Dante Howard and Patrick Chung off the defense?
Tom Brady, because that's all they've ever known. Well, all they've ever, you know what I mean? For the past 2 decades, that's all they've ever known. Those others are obviously going to hurt the defense and others, but Tom Brady not being there, they've won with
with the addition of Cam replacing him.
Yeah, because we don't know who Cam. If Cam's coming off of no injuries, and it was just that the Panthers decided to go in a different direction and move on from their MVP quarterback, fine. We don't know if Cam Newton is the MVP quarterback or not. We don't even know what fraction of that MVP quarterback that he is. So 15 actually probably perfect for the Patriots because you just don't know. You're giving them the benefit of the doubt because they are the New England Patriots. All right, that's 1 through 15. So we know that the Bengals, obviously, and the Browns are in the bottom half. Actually, they're in the bottom 10. I don't get it. The Bengals deserve to be at the bottom.
Let the cat out the bag, why don't you?
Well, because, it doesn't. Look, it's common sense that the Bengals are one of the worst teams in the NFL. I'm not revealing secrets there, but the Browns are not one of the worst 10 teams in the NFL. According to this, they are. That's ridiculous. The Cardinals are better than the Browns. Give me a break. We'll discuss this more when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 93 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear down to a low of 73. And tomorrow, chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 89. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Enjoy your yard and get 11% off everything now at Menards. Protect your family with no pest, wasp, and hornet spray. The Jet Spray shoots up to 20 feet and stops wasps and hornets on contact. A 14-ounce can is only $159 after sale price and 11% off. Start saving with 11% off everything now at Menards. Prices are good until August 29th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
In these times, it's important to look after yourself. At Kettering Health Network, we offer telehealth video visits so you can see Kettering Physician Network providers from the comfort of your home using your computer, tablet, or phone. With Kettering Telehealth, you can keep up with your wellness visits, see a specialist, and everything in between. Start by visiting ketteringhealth.org/telehealth. Kettering Health Network.
Looking for the perfect way to take it easy this summer? Just pick up a home-style meal on the go at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with our 3-piece breast strip combo for only $6.29. Drive in hungry and drive out happy with 3 of Lee's unbeatable breast strips, an individual side, a fluffy biscuit, and a regular drink. Trust us, these strips are worth the trip. Get a sit-down meal made easy with our 3-piece breast strip combo for only $6.29. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
No, but maybe time for a reality check. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You ever wonder what that Nike logo's all about? The swoosh? I think I got it figured out. It's a sound all your money makes flying out of your wallet to pay for those things. That's why I wear Skechers, because Skechers has all the comfort, performance, and style I need for a price that is unbelievably affordable. Look, let's start with comfort. Nobody makes more comfortable, perfectly fitting shoes than Skechers, and all with Skechers' exclusive air-cooled memory foam. Plus, they have incredible style, and they're even machine washable, so you can keep them looking good for longer. Find your perfect pair at Skechers.com or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
After falling to the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals, the 76ers needed to find the right player to build the ultimate winning team. In September of '82, they acquired restricted free agent Moses Malone. They went on to rack up a 65-17 regular season record and followed that up with a 12-1 postseason record. Malone won the regular season and NBA Finals MVP award.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Adding a leader you need right when you need them. That's how sports teams get ahead and how your business can too. LinkedIn will match the right talent with your open roles fast. Post a job and you'll get great candidates with the right mix of skills, interest, and experience. So every hire you make is a win for your business. Go to linkedin.com/sports and get $50 off your first job post. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Dell Technologies advisors listen to your small business needs so they can provide you with tailored solutions powered by Intel vPro platform. Call today at 877-ASK-DELL.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. They love Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's got all the flavor and zero the sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. And the drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. And when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar, done right. That's what I like.
Mattress Firm's Labor Day sale is going on now. Save up to $500 when you get a king bed for a queen price or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more.
These days, it's okay to do some things halfway, like wearing your pajama bottoms on a work call. But managing your prescriptions shouldn't be one of them. That's why CVS has a proprietary search tool to find ways that may help lower your prescription costs, and will deliver them too. No wonder CVS customers are better than most at staying on prescriptions, which tends to make you healthier. Come in or call today and get a free prescription savings review at CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Ask pharmacist for details.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents. And Doug.
Where's the money, Karen?
I'm sorry, the money?
The money you saved by having Liberty Mutual customize your home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, that money. I used it to add to my collection of clown paintings. Take a look.
Amazing. Wow.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Reds fans, don't miss the Justin Kinner Show, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. You'll get the latest Reds news, headlines, lineups, player features, and recaps. Don't miss a game or a show on Dayton's home of the Reds, ESPN 1410 Wing AM. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Of course, we are breaking down the ESPN's NFL Power Rankings. Browns and Bengals both in the bottom 10 of the league. And look, it doesn't surprise me at all that the Bengals, who had the number 1 overall pick and only won 2 games a year ago, it doesn't surprise me at all that the Bengals are there. The Browns, though, come on. They're just hating because it's the Browns. See, the Patriots get the benefit of the doubt because they're the Patriots, so they get moved up even though they probably shouldn't be there. The Browns, who have a million times more talent than the Patriots, they get moved down because they're the Cleveland Browns. They get that opposite Patriot reaction going.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
Keep the hate going, though. There's going to be a lot of disappointed and annoyed Bengals fans, Steelers fans. I can't wait to see your face every single day throughout this NFL season. It is going to be great. If you thought that it was tough watching your quarterback get swung at with the helmet last year, it's going to be 16 weeks of swinging left and right from the Cleveland Browns, by the way. Before we get back into this list, by the way, we are giving away the brand new PGA 2K21 video game on Xbox One and PS4. The only thing you have to do is head to our website at wingam.com. When you go to wingam.com, you'll click on, of course, the graphic. You'll see right there the PGA 2K21 video game. All you got to do is enter your name, a couple details about yourself, and register. You can register daily. You can register more than once. So make sure You are checking that daily. We're going to be contacting winners every Friday moving forward. And again, we got a bunch of these games, so the chances of you coming away with one are pretty high. So make sure that you are registering. There's also what we call the bonus entries. The bonus entries, whenever it again signals you to, they'll ask you to follow the station on Facebook and Twitter, and of course, our personal page, not our personal, but our station profile picture profiles and everything. Make sure you take advantage of the bonus entries, because when you click on those and you follow what they ask you to do, again, it provides you with more picks, and the more registries you have, the higher percent chance you have of coming away with the new PGA 2K21 video game. And of course, you could tell us, do you want the PS4 version or the Xbox One version? We're excited to give that away. And again, we all know just how great 2K does with the NBA games. Now it's time to see how great a job they've done with the NFL games as well. So head to wingam.com and enter for your chance to come away with the new PGA 2K21 video game. All right, let's get back into these NFL power rankings. We got up to number 15, which, of course, that was the New England Patriots, right around that halfway point. And again, I think they're a tough team to figure out. Yes, it is. When we say, I see people right now, Slayden, saying, where did he go? See, he's throwing hate. Until further notice, they still are the Cleveland Browns. Yes, we heard that a lot last year from Schlemmer. So until further notice, no matter what the Browns would do, no matter how much talent on the roster, Schlemmer would always respond with, until further notice, they are still the Cleveland Browns. Well, Bengals fans, keep that in mind for yourself. Until further notice, you are still one of the biggest jokes of organizations within the NFL. You're right there with us, man. You're right there with. There's nothing worse than being in the basement with the other losers, and you got other losers trying to act better than the other losers within the basement. Now, come on. Except the Browns, they're not losers. Look at that roster. Cha-ching. W's, baby.
12-4.
Coming to a season near you. 12 of those.
12-4.
And I don't even see how they lose 4.
No, go for it.
12
go for it. No.
The Browns. Fat? Really? You know I've been trying. Salads every day for lunch, not eating carbs. You're going to call me big man. Damn it, Kev. Damn it.
Oh, man, put your money where your mouth is.
And I work here. I don't got no money. All right, back to it. New England Patriots. Number 15, again, that's up for debate, but I think Cam Newton makes them interesting, because I thought that team, even though it was the Patriots, was just boring from top to bottom. Cam makes them interesting. That's all that matters. How about the Houston Texans coming in at number 16? Again, I think that's about right. I think that they're getting the benefit of the doubt because you have Deshaun Watson, who I think is on the verge of becoming an MVP level quarterback. He has shown signs. But he was doing all of that with DeAndre Hopkins. Now he doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins. Of course, they did trade for Cooks from the Rams, who we talked about earlier. And it's one of those where, what's the gap? We know the gap's pretty significant between DeAndre Hopkins and Cooks, but at least the Texans, who were stupid enough to trade Hopkins away, went out and at least try to redeem it with getting another, receiver. We'll just see what the relationship and what the chemistry is like between Deshaun Hopkins and Cooks out on the field. Speaking of Cooks and his former team, now the Rams, coming in at number 17. The Rams at number 17, again, there's just a lot of good fringe teams in the NFL. Teams that have talent that you just don't know. Goff, I think, is very overrated. Every time I saw Colin Cowherd put out a list a while back that had Goff as one of his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and I'm like, what in the world? I don't care what kind of troll you're trying to be that day. I couldn't even try to put Goff in the top 5 list. All right. And I troll a lot, but I've never put Baker Mayfield in the top 5 list. Give me a break. But the Los Angeles Rams coming in at number 17. This is a roster that 2 years ago, everyone's saying, oh man, the future is so bright for this team because you got to a Super Bowl and you had obviously Cooks, who was a part of a young wide receiving core coming up. Goff was a young quarterback, led behind the strong running game of Gurley. You no longer have Gurley. You no longer have Cooks. You lost a lot of that veteran presence on the defensive side of the ball. So I don't know who the Rams are right now. I don't know who the Rams are. I don't know if 17 is 17 too high or too low or about right.
It's about right. Obviously,
you just don't know what you got.
Who do they have? They have Aaron Donald. They have Jalen Ramsey.
Bad contract. So they gave up. I don't think they have a first-round draft pick until like 23 or 24.
Is that right?
They gave up a ton to be able to go out. Yeah, they got rid of a ton of first-round draft picks over the years to go out and get some of the talent that they did. But again, I'm not going to slide on him now because at the time I was giving him credit. I love when teams say, you know what, we'll deal with that later. We want to win now. If we save these draft picks for down the road, then we're still in that boat of hoping that will be developed, that will develop into a good team eventually. You go all in right now when you have a chance. That's why I love what the Browns have done. Who knows what's going to happen with OBJ and with Kareem Hunt and others, but go all in. Give yourself a chance to win now, because by the time you wait for Baker to break out and everything else, it might be too late by that point to where you won't have the money to go make the decisions they did. I'm not going to rip the Rams for it, but the Rams are where they are now because of it, and they're a fringe team. I just don't think they're that good.
Draft picks are like lottery scratch-off tickets. Like, people want them until they draft a player, and then the player turns out not to be any good. You be like, oh, man, we could rebuild because we got like 8 draft picks in the first 3 rounds, and then you just make bust after bust, where you could have traded those picks for an all-pro corner like Jalen Ramsey, which they did. So I don't have any problems with what they did by, going for it. Why not go for it? You still, as people talk about Goff's contract, in all actuality, it's a decent contract. They're not under the microscope like that. Yeah, it's a decent sized contract, but just look what Mahomes just signed. Look what Dak is eventually going to sign. Like, his contract is nowhere near what those guys signed. So
the problem was when you had Jalen Ramsey's contract, and then you add, with Gurley, and they're still paying some of that, by the way.
Right.
It's not like, just because he's not there, his contract's still lingering, or at least the effects, the fallout from that. Interesting, nonetheless, as far as that's concerned. The Rams, they're a good team. It's one of those where, and it's funny because Steve right now on Facebook says, are you guys going to run a weekly NFL pick'em pool? Yes, we are. And as we get closer to the season, we will reveal that. But I'm glad he brought that up, because I was just thinking, man, think about when it's time to start making your weekly picks. There's not it's tough. The Rams are good enough to beat pretty much, I don't say any team, but pretty much any team, but they can also lose to any team. I can't get a good feel for who the Rams are. They're going to be an interesting team here in 2020. How about the Atlanta Falcons coming in at number 18? We talked about Gurley no longer with the Rams, but the Falcons go and pick him up, and they add him to that strong, offense. Now you have Gurley, obviously a former MVP quarterback, and Matt Ryan, and then Julio Jones. That's quite the trio right there. It's on paper, it's a sexy trio, but the problem is the Falcons have had a decent run game over the years to go with Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, and yet it still hasn't been enough. The big question mark for the Falcons is going to be, they're going to have explosiveness on the offensive side, but what about the defensive side?
Right.
And that's where, Dan Quinn's going to be coming into, under a microscope as far as that's concerned.
Because he's a defensive coach. He's a defensive coach, and if you're a head coach known for offense, you better be scoring points. If you're a head coach known for defense, your defense better be at least middle of the pack. Since that Super Bowl debacle, their defense has been trash. They got rid of Vic Beasley because he wasn't producing after that Super Bowl.
Since the second quarter, their defense has been trash. Not just the Super Bowl, the second quarter in the Super Bowl, since then they've been trash.
The wheels totally fell off that defense. So they got a lot of retooling to do on defense. And I don't know if they can score enough points. This is the NFL. This isn't college where you can be like, all right, man, we're guaranteed we're going to score 38 points a game. It's the NFL. Even the team with Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan, they're going to be games where they only score 17 points because this is the NFL.
And keep in mind, too, they play in probably the toughest division in football. You have 2 Super Bowl favorites in that division, in the Buccaneers and the Saints. So you have to face Tom Brady. If you're the Falcons, you have to face Tom Brady and that Buccaneers offense. And keep in mind, it's not just Tom Brady. That Buccaneers offense is good. Yeah. They have weapons all over the place. So you have to face that offense twice. You have to face Drew Brees and the Saints twice, who, by the way, if Drew Brees goes down, they have 2 really good quarterbacks. Again, it's, they're still 2 of the best backup quarterbacks in the National Football League. And the Panthers, they're obviously going to be a team that's rebuilding right now, but again, they have enough that can catch you on an off day if you're not ready. So is that the toughest division in football? For me, it's between the NFC South and the AFC North. I think that those are the 2 toughest divisions in football, but the NFC West, pretty interesting too, when you got the Rams and Seahawks. The Rams or the Seahawks and Niners, the Rams taking a step back is what I think weakens that, because if the Rams, who look like a Super Bowl team along with the Seahawks and Niners, it's like, okay, that's the best division. But the Rams taking a step back, I think, hurts that division, in my opinion.
I think it's the AFC North, the toughest. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Steelers fan. We know the Ravens are going to be good this year. We're expecting the Steelers to bounce back. They went 8-8 last year. you're expecting your Hall of Fame quarterback to get you at least 2 more wins than you did last year. So you were expecting 10 wins from the Steelers. And obviously you're expecting the Browns to go 12-4. So those are 3 teams that we all agree that, all right, they should be in the hunt for the playoffs.
All right, 457-9464. We haven't gotten to the phones yet, but we'll open them up. 457-9464. Also taking your reaction here on Facebook. Again, we're live on Facebook. Head to your Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, give the show a like, and of course you could watch and then leave your comments down in the comments section. We'll be able to pull them in and interact with you that way. Doug Toby says, if Hayfield only wins 8 games, does he have a job next year? That's a question that we're going to get to coming up here in a moment when we get to the Browns within this list. But Toby had some other nice things to say as well. Doug Toby says, you are what you are till you prove it. Flush it, clowns. With a clown emoji. Doug Toby coming in swinging. Billy Wright says, as much as I hate the Steelers, they will be really good this year. That defense is top notch, and with decent quarterback play, we'll be back in the playoffs. Look, as much as I hate to say it, the Steelers looked horrible last year offensively, and yet they went 8-8 and just barely missed the playoffs. And with the expanded playoffs, that bad team last year, with Duck Hodges and company,
quack.
They make the playoffs. So that Steelers team, as bad as they were, at least on the offensive side of the ball, this defense is even better this year, and the offense is better. So if that bad team last year was good enough to go 8-8 with an offensive improvement, yeah, the Steelers do concern me as far as that's concerned. But again, that is all predicated around what Big Ben are you getting back?
Whatever Big Ben you're getting back is better than Mason Rudolph and better than Duck Hodges.
But is it?
Yes. No matter what Big Ben you get.
I mean, you're getting like Tuesday night bowling league Big Ben. Like,
yes.
I mean, when I see him, I just smell cigarette smoke. Like that. When I see him, ooh, I smell the fried food from the bowling alley. Yeah. More smoky. Exactly. All right. Coming in at number 20, the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns coming in at number 20.
12-4 though, right?
You think I give a rip what this thing says? They should be. They forgot to call Kinner, and they're like, "Hey, we're putting this NFL Power Rankings list together. We don't know what we're talking about. We know that Kinner knows everything. Kinner, tell us about these Browns." I mean, seriously, they would have been shocked to know that they're better. They're the best team in the NFL, according to Kinner. No, I do not believe they're the best team in the NFL. However, they're not the 20th best team in the NFL. I don't look at the Cardinals. How are the Cardinals in year 2 of Kyler Murray? And really, year 2, year 3, year 4 doesn't matter. But year 2 with Kyler Murray, the Cardinals, outside of going out and adding, obviously they go out and they get a top receiver in Hopkins to add there. Again, a good attack, but the Cardinals, I still don't get how you put them above the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what the justification is as far as that. The Cleveland Browns, in all honesty, I'm taking them over the Rams. I will take the Cleveland Browns over the Los Angeles Rams.
They're going with continuity, man. They're going with continuity.
What continuity? There is no continuity at the Rams. They've lost everybody. What? Right? They don't have their coaching staff. They don't have their old running back. The
coaching staff and quarterback.
The same coaching staff they had last year that couldn't get it done.
This is what, like you said, the third head coach that Baker Mayfield has had. This is the third offensive system he's had in 3 seasons.
What?
Continuity.
Continuity what? Against who?
Lack thereof.
Oh, no. See, that's the thing. Freddie Kitchens was so bad last year that with Stefanski right now, like that automatically, that they've already improved by 3 games just from last year.
No.
Yes.
No. Not according to you. They improved by 8 games.
No. Just Mr. automatically, Stefanski is at +3 games for the Browns already.
Okay.
That's my point. Freddie Kitchens, and I probably should be +4 because that's how bad Freddie was last year. Speaking of the Rams was one of those games that the Browns should have had a win over last night in prime time. In fact, last year, coming back from Pensacola, I'm listening to the game the whole way home, just screaming at the car because they 1st and goal. You punch it in, you win. And you go for four passing plays at the goal line when you had Chubb, the 2nd best running back in the National Football League. What are you doing? That was Freddie Kitchen. Derrick Henry. It's first.
McCaffrey.
No.
McCaffrey.
No.
McCaffrey.
No. It is Derrick Henry, Chubb, then McCaffrey. Just because the Panthers overused McCaffrey doesn't mean. And by the way, and Chubb too. No, not doing it today. Nope. Whoosah.
McCaffrey.
Yeah. All right, continue on the list. By the way, we'll get back in that Browns thing just in a moment. But the Raiders coming in at 21. A lot of question marks there. You want to talk about continuity? This is year 3. When you look at, of course, the return of Gruden. Yeah. Like, it should not take the Raiders. Like, if you're Gruden, who everyone says, oh, he's such a great coach, the Raiders, it should not take this long for Gruden to turn a team around. This isn't Major League Baseball where a rebuild takes 5 years. This isn't the NBA where it takes 3 to 4 years. This is the NFL where teams go from last place to first place pretty regularly. You want to look at the Jaguars are always a team that mesmerized me because they go out and get Leonard Fournette the year after they're 3-13, and the next year they're within 4 minutes of beating the Patriots. They're within a quarter of going to the, representing the AFC in the Super Bowl the next year. So they destroyed your Steelers.
They did.
And I got knocked out of my eliminator league because of that.
I thought you were almost about to say something that I might have to dump now.
Yeah.
I should be the one talking like that.
Who we got? We got Charlie?
No, we got Chris.
Chris, close enough. Chris, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
So I'm with you, Justin. I think the AFC North is going to be really good this year. Am I crazy to think 3 teams are going to make the playoffs out of that division?
The Ravens are a lock. The Steelers and the Browns. If 3 get in, those are your 3, obviously.
Well, because you add another playoff team this year.
So, that's doable. And again, I have the Browns winning 12 games. So to me, I can't sit there and say that they're not going to make the playoffs. I've predicted the Browns to win 12 games this year. We know the Ravens are going to be in. The Steelers will be between 8 to 9, 7 to 9 wins is what I have for the Steelers in that range. Yeah, I think it's possible. I really do think it's possible, especially with that extra team making it this season. So it's going to be fun. Those are the 3. If there's going to be 3 playoff teams, yes, those will be the 3 to do it. But will they? The AFC is really good. That's the problem. NFL's deep right now, so that's going to be key. You could have an 8-8 team or a 9-7 team miss the playoffs. That is very realistic.
So I'm a Browns fan, but I'm not as big on them this year as you. One, because they're going to have to make it to week 1 without staying injured. Injuries are killing them right now.
Well, Chubb's back. They got Chubb back.
They're out for the season, and Mac probably is too.
Well, my problem is, Mac I'm concerned about, but Delpit, that is a big blow. But my thing is if you were depending on being a playoff team because of a rookie, I think that's a problem. I think they have too much talent around them that although it's a blow to lose Delpit, they got to go make moves, by the way, and be able to address that secondary. And Earl Thomas, I don't know what they got to do, but and I still think they're on the verge of making a big move, but they have no choice but to sit back and not make a move. But hey, I would love to talk more. I just have to go, Chris. Go Browns.
Go Browns.
All right, Kev, you're a horrible clock manager today.
What are you talking about, man? You were on the roll. I was letting you live.
12-4, baby. And as Matthew Gaines on Facebook says, go Browns. Billy Wright says, laugh my ass off. Chubb better than McCaffrey. See, you agree.
No.
Yeah, that's what he said. Billy Wright just said Chubb better than McCaffrey. See, he agrees.
Okay.
That's what we call a spin. We'll be back in a moment. I'm dizzy.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's the summer clearance event at New Carlisle Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At New Carlisle, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all aspects of the vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With our award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you and your family and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh and never frozen. And so big, you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
You have empty office space to fill. You know what you need, and you know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places that what you need and what you'd like, that might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts, and every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half price and below manufacturer suggested prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best, really. Desks from $50 to $5,000. File cabinets, $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Outlet. With 87,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. 2 locations. One at 23 McOil Street, Dayton. The other, Uniques Unlimited on South Dixie. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. Saturday, 10 to 4.
Hiring the best people can transform your business and help take it to another level. Indeed can certainly help you find those talented people. We have nearly 3/4 of all job seekers in the U.S., according to ComScore, and smart tools to help you find the best candidate for you. Indeed also provides flexibility to only pay for what you need and won't lock you into any long-term contracts. Claim your $75 credit to get more quality candidates fast when you post your first job at Indeed.com/high-impact. That's Indeed.com/high-impact. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations, serving the greater Dayton and Cincinnati area, is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the best value in bath and shower remodeling, and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that is safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase. Visit on Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com and upgrade today.
Changing laws can't change our hearts, and hate won't leave unless we make it. This divide is real, and you might feel hopeless to overtake it. Our history's cold, and our future's unknown and incomplete. But we could fight today to make the pain of our past not repeat. Wherever you are, be that change you feel that you don't see enough of. Your household, friends, job, or school could grow through your life. We need tough love, need kindness and care, conversations to understand each other, patience for these wounds, and day-by-day actions to love our brothers, help our sisters of all races to connect and not dismiss, and be that country we're supposed to be, where each life can exist, and it's through you to call out hatred, teach the weak, and shield the pain. No matter who you are, be the change.
Fall is just around the corner. So are Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot, where you can save every day on everything, from mulch to power tools, new appliances to a fresh coat of paint. You can even shop and save right from the app and get convenient delivery right to your door. The only question is, what will you do next? Tackle more fall projects with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
3rd floor study hall. My dining room table. Homeroom Monday and Tuesday. My living room Wednesday to Friday.
Wherever school happens for you this year, Staples has amazing prices on everything you need, from lap desks to computers, desk chairs to UV sanitizers. And this week at Staples, Apple AirPods are just $134. You save $25. Shop in-store, pick up curbside, or order online. School on, save on. Staples. Ends 8/29 while supplies last. Limit 2. Curbside available in most stores.
Hi folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95, plats of annuals starting at $12.95, and hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brant Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
I'm thinking of you.
What kinder words could be more meaningful at a time like this? At First Florist and Greenhouses, we know everyone is coping the best they can. And when hugs are not possible, a kind word or gesture can bring comfort and a smile. So today, make that phone call or send a heartfelt note to someone you care about. And if you'd like to send a fresh bouquet of flowers, we can help with that. We're First Florist and Greenhouses at 1306 Troy Street in Dayton, a local family-owned business since 1905. And we're thinking of you.
It's the summer clearance event at Key Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At Key, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com where you can complete all the aspects of a vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
Fall is just around the corner. So are Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot, where you can save every day on everything from mulch to power tools, new appliances to a fresh coat of paint. You can even shop and save right from the app and get convenient delivery right to your door. The only question is, what will you do next? Tackle more fall projects with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through September 7th.
It's a new season, and it's Sport Clips haircuts. All of our stylists are clean certified and guy smart. So come in and get yourself back in the game with our legendary MVP experience. It's a mancation with our hot steam towel, relaxing shampoo, and a winning cut. Check in online and walk out with confidence. Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy.
And you be stepping out like a pro. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Changing your oil. We've got what you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil and an STP oil filter for just $26.99, plus a $5 bonus reward if you're an AutoZone Rewards member. Not a member? Signing up is easy. You can do it right here in store or on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best networks, same as big carriers, but for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, for up to 50% less than the big carriers. No contract, full coverage, 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
All right, hour 2, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on a Wednesday. Right? It's Wednesday? Yesterday, yeah. We're good. Wednesday. I already lose track of what day it is. It's fine. It's fine. 457-9464. That's the number to call in and join in on the conversation. Or, of course, you can leave your comments in the comments section. We're live on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. You can either listen on air, stream online, or watch on Facebook. You could listen, stream, and now watch. Interesting development in the NBA, and we'll get back into the NFL stuff in a moment. I want to highlight this because it's something that's developing. Right now, there's supposed to be an NBA playoff game going on. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Orlando Magic are supposed to be tipping off Game 5, and it is 4:10 right now. The game should have tipped off 10 minutes ago. And with the continued unrest right now in this country, with another an unarmed African American shot over not over the weekend, I guess. What are we, Wednesday? What exactly was it? On Monday. Again, it has sparked another huge reaction from the NBA players, and the Milwaukee Bucks have refused to come out to the court for Game 5 with the Magic, and there's been some discussion within the Bucks about a boycott. I don't know what the extent of the boycott is. Is that just for this game? Are they leaving the bubble? You said you read a report that the Raptors are considering leaving the bubble.
A couple players on the Raptors, and mind you, Raptors are defending NBA champions, considering leaving the bubble. And, that's big. We talk about a lot of things about pro athletes and everything like that, and being willing to sacrifice something. When you're the defending champs and you actually have a chance to make it back to the finals, and as we saw last year, there's no telling what can happen in the NBA finals. You believe that they won because KD went down. I say that's just part of the game. And, they're not going to be giving their rings back because somebody got hurt. So they're the defending NBA champions. And for them to possibly be sacrificing their chance to repeat as champion, that's a sacrifice. A lot of guys like, Muhammad Ali sacrificed the prime of his career in boxing, to stand up for things he believed in. Obviously, everything that went on with Colin Kaepernick taking the knee, he sacrificed years of his pro career as well. He's still not back in the NFL. So, when guys like that are willing to sacrifice and stand up for civil rights and just the betterment of people in general, man, you got to applaud them for that. And we're going to see what's happening, because obviously everything that's happening in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they're only 45 minutes away from Milwaukee. They're basically the city in between Milwaukee and Chicago. So the Bucks players I saw when Giannis won Defensive MVP award last night, there was no joy with him receiving that award. Normally when guys receive awards like MVP and Defensive Player of the Year and everything like that, they're rising their guy, they're joking around, rubbing his head and everything like that. It was a very somber acceptance speech from Giannis for winning Defensive Player of the Year, and it's understandably so, considering everything that's going on. And then when it hits so close to home, it's got to hit a little different, and with them not coming out to play today so far, and basically the Orlando Magic have done the same.
Yep. This is an interesting situation that's developing. Here's the only problem I have with it, and at the risk of sounding insensitive, and it's not my intent here, but it is. Let's take it with this. The platform that they have to be able to make a stance with. The NBA has always been the number one professional sport as far as allowing their athletes to be able to use their platform to speak on social injustice. So I feel like right now, when the NBA bubble is nothing but a social injustice PSA to begin with, and that's not me. I don't say that in a mocking way. The NBA has bent over backwards to make sure that the message of this bubble is about everything going on. Mm-hmm. At the risk of sounding insensitive, and maybe they have support of the NBA in this, I just don't think that they do. I do find it a little disrespectful to the league that has given them the platform to say, if I'm Adam Silver, I'm like, what the hell, guys? Like, we are giving you every megaphone possible to speak out on this. And we've come this far. And again, I'm making this about basketball, which is where I'm probably making this wrong to begin with. But there comes a point where you have every avenue possible to be able to speak out on this. And again, I'm trying to do this in a way that I'm not sounding like the people that I hate about, you could protest, just don't do it here. Like, you could protest, just you could do it this way. You can't tell people how to protest. But I guess the problem I have is that if there was ever a sport that deserved to have a boycott, it was the NFL. Mm-hmm. As far as that's a sport that has continually tried to push down people's beliefs when it comes to that. But then you have the NBA who allows these guys to it's like I said, the bubble, every commercial, it's the NBA bubble PSA every night. And I don't say that in a bad way. I'm just saying the NBA has been over backwards, and I look at it, and maybe I'm framing it too much in a sports perspective here. I almost look at it as like, okay, Bucks, you're kind of slapping the league in the face that has kind of standing with you to speak out on this. And I feel like the platform is bigger with you on it than leaving it. And that's kind of how I feel with this. I am not doing the whole, oh, well, you could protest this, but don't disrespect the flag. You could protest this, don't disrespect the league. You could do. I'm not trying to do that. I know it's coming out as that. I just feel like you're boycotting what exactly? You're boycotting the NBA. It's against the NBA. It's hurting them.
I don't think it's necessarily boycotting the league or boycotting the game. It's just say let's take a step back. Let's take a look at this from a big picture scope. And I don't necessarily think it's the NBA allowing them to protest and everything like that. I think that the NBA as a whole is lock in step with everybody. I think this is a partnership. And the NBA has been a partnership for the last 20 something years. It really phased out of that employer appeal back in the early 2000s. It came more of a partnership. So I believe that everything that the NBA is doing and everything that's been going on with them has been lock and step together. If the NBA Players Union and the ownership can agree upon, like, all right, maybe we need to take a couple days off and come up with another game plan, because this did. I had this conversation with my cousin. We were talking about music and a ton of other things like that, and then talking about, the NBA bubble, how exciting it's been, how many great games. It's back when, my guy Dame time was on a tear and everything like that. And he's
AJ
like,
Green time now.
Definitely.
Oh, I'm hurt.
Get out of Dodge. Let me get back home.
Conveniently hurt.
And he was like, you know what? I don't think they should have played. And I was like, oh, you pulling the Kyrie. It's like, I can't stand Kyrie, but I think he's right. I think that he was saying that he thought it was, it's going to take away from everything that's been going on. I was like, well, us as a people, we can't allow the momentum and message to be stopped. Like, people can do two things at once. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. But boom, something like this happens with Mr. Blake, and he shot 7 times in the back, and now it's front page news again. It did. The momentum did die down. We as a people did allow the momentum to die down.
But I don't think it's because of the NBA.
No, it's not. I don't think I agree. I don't think it's because of the NBA, but I believe that the players believe that, with them on the forefront constantly, and then them going to play games and provide entertainment, it did do something to take away from the momentum of the movement and everything that's going on, because, a ton of NBA guys are out there on the front lines protesting and everything like that. And it's shocking that people are over the moon about protests that Sean Wade's dad is doing to have the Buckeye season. But in the same breath, they're calling protests against unarmed black people appalling. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'll as much as I love sports and I love being entertained by college football, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and everything like that, I'll never put that in front of the values of a human life, no matter what skin color you are. If you losing your life to senseless violence, especially by people that are supposed to be protecting and serving us, something needs to be said. And these athletes have a voice. And I know what you're saying. Like, what's a bigger voice than being on the NBA final stage? What's a bigger voice than the biggest time of the NBA season? You are correct. But what's a bigger voice than that? Stopping the game. Why are they stopping the game? What's going on? You'd be amazed how many people out there don't know what's going on. You'd be amazed how many people out there have their blinders on. How many people out there really don't even care until it really hits close to home.
And I completely get that. And again, Adrian Wojnarowski with ESPN, the Milwaukee Bucks have decided to boycott Game 5. Whew. Now, again, at the risk of sounding insensitive, if the NBA comes out, and by the way, because the Magic were out on the floor warming up. The Magic left the floor with about 3 minutes left until game time when they found out. If I'm the NBA, I'll look at the Bucks and say, okay, that's not a boycott. You forfeited. That's a loss. At the end of the day, because if I'm the NBA, I'm starting to get a little frustrated here, because it's like, we're not your enemy here. We've been with you this whole way. And you want to boycott, that's fine. You have the right to boycott, but we also have the right to run our business still at the same time. Like, you can't, anyone would be a fool if the NBA turns around, because that's the other questions that are starting to come in now. Adrian Wojnarowski looking into how the NBA is going to handle this. Is this a forfeit? How is this going to be marked? And of course, people right away, the NBA, they're going to get hit hard if they do. You can't look at the NBA if they decide to name this a forfeit and say, that they're not supporting the players. The NBA have bent over backwards to be with the players. And the players have done something that's a little bit more for them than the league, but the league still has to look out for them too. I don't know. It's a tough decision.
Sacrifice.
The NBA is going to have to make a decision, and I'm in favor of the NBA saying you can't have it all in this situation of we're not going to give up our bottom dollar for this in the sense of we've done everything you've asked. You wanted names on the back of the jerseys, we gave it to you. You wanted Black Lives Matter on the court, we gave it to you. You want all of the programming on ESPN to be strictly about this message, we gave it to you. And we gave all that to you, and now you're sitting out of our game still, and literally moments before, I don't know. I get both sides. I'm not even saying one side's wrong or right, but I do say this: if the NBA decides to come back and say that's a loss, I'm not going to be on the side of anyone who says, the NBA is wrong in that, because they're not wrong. Like, there comes a point where you can run your business within the values of changing times and support everybody, but there has to be a point where it's like, at the end of we're still a business. This game not happening today, how many millions of dollars does the NBA lose because that game, because ESPN, they didn't get that game, they paid for that game, and that game's not happening now. It's a trickle down effect.
Absolutely. I get it too, and I'm pretty sure that during that conference during the acceptance speech yesterday, that the TNT guy asked him, Ernie Smith asked Coach Bud, about everything that was going on in Kenosha and what the team was planning to do. And he said, basically, everything's on the table, meaning a possible boycott, possibly going out there and playing the game. Everything was on the table is what he said. So I'm sure that the ownership of the Bucks, the GM and everything like that, they understand, if they get fined, if the organization gets fined, they'll have to eat that fine. And if the players get fined, they'll have to eat that fine. If the Magic are awarded the W for that game, so be it. We talk about sacrifice, and sacrifice isn't just, your time. You and I, not to try to pat ourselves on the back, but when the tornadoes came through here last Memorial Day, we sacrificed a lot of our time, a lot of our personal time, not just time that, our normal hours that we would be at the station and everything like that. We sacrificed a lot of our personal time because, our city needed it. We sacrificed our personal time when things happen behind the scenes here that need to get done to make sure commercials get paid, make sure stations are on the air when we're quote unquote not on the clock. It's called sacrifice, and we have to be willing to sacrifice to make sure the ship runs. And people like Muhammad Ali sacrificed his career, the prime of his career, where he could have been knocking people out, being the world champion, making millions upon millions of dollars, but he was barred. He was barred from boxing. People like that make sacrifices go down in history for being on the right side of history. People that shoot people 7 times in the back, you going down down in history for all the wrong reasons. I'd rather be on the right side of history and knowing morally, this is the right thing to do, than be just saying we got to get out there and play basketball. I was with a lot of the guys like LeBron and AD and Stephen A saying, well, we could do 2 things at once. We could chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. We can make our voices heard and play basketball at the same time. I feel personally, I do my job here at the radio station, but I also try to make awareness about what's going on in our community, as well as try to get people out here register to vote and be aware of everything that's going on. I feel like I can do 2 things at once. But those guys, this instance with the Bucks, they feel like now's the time to shut things down and take a step back. And I can't fault them for that.
All right, 457-9464. We'll take your calls here. Again, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. We were talking NFL to open up. We'll get back into that coming up in a moment.
Hang on, Charlie.
But ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports that the Bucs have decided to boycott Game 5, again, the NBA playoff matchup between the Bucs and the Orlando Magic, which was supposed to tip off at 4 o'clock. With 3:56 remaining on the warm-up clock, the Orlando Magic walked off the floor after being informed that the Bucs were going to, of course, stay in the locker room, not come out, and boycott the game. And, of course, that has sparked a lot of conversation around the sports world, which, again, when you are protesting and you are doing things like this to raise awareness for these situations, that's the purpose of this. As I talked about with Kevin, it's one of those where the risk of sounding insensitive, I'm not a fan of this method, only because, I understood why the players almost looked like they were going against the NFL, because the NFL was trying to, keep them from being able to speak out on those things. But when you look at the NBA, they have been over backwards to be alongside the players. And I think that this is going to be I think that the NBA and their players are at an interesting crossroads as far as what's next. Because the NBA has been, and Kevin, you brought up it's been a great partnership between the two. This move by the Bucs seems less partnership and more players kind of doing it the way that they wanted to do from the beginning. So it's going to be interesting what's next. Should the NBA count this as a forfeit? If the NBA counts it as a forfeit, is the NBA wrong? That's what we're here to, we'll discuss that. Who we got on line one?
We got Charlie.
Charlie, what's up, man? You're up.
Hey, Kev, can you run for mayor of Dayton?
I'm definitely
Kev
not
Nash
qualified.
runs Dayton, remember?
I'm definitely not qualified.
I said Kev Nash runs Dayton. Kev, you got a cool head, man. That's why I love you. You're just cool, and the way that you are coming across right now, that's how people need to react to things. And you know what? When it comes to the NBA, any business it's risky. Everything's risky when you run business. And the NBA has to understand that a team might forfeit in this situation. And I know that these owners get so shook up, and they start crying foul against the athletes. But here's the reality. The athletes hold all the power because they are the talent. Okay? It's kind of like what we were talking. I was talking to somebody about, like, how cool would it be if Justin Fields went to Wilberforce and played football. Like, everyone would go watch that because it's Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing with the NBA. If these players want to boycott the NBA, it's hey, man, you're gonna take a hit. You're gonna take a hit. That's risk. That's part of running a business. You know what I mean? And I know that the NBA has tried. They've done things, and they've done things for the players, and but certain things have changed. We've got another situation here, and people are reacting. And so the NBA might call it a forfeit. They got to be careful, obviously, because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like, do you take it personally? Is it a business thing? How are people going to react? Things were going so well in the bubble. There was no coronavirus test, and so now you're in a situation. Do you go Roger Goodell and just make horrible decisions? Or do you step up and say, you know what? These guys are protesting. That's the right thing to do. And I don't. What do you guys think? Like, what would your call be? Do you call it a forfeit? What do you do here?
For me, if I'm the commissioner of the NBA, it's a hefty fine for sure. It's a hefty fine. You try to talk to the players' union and see what's going on. You try to get to the bottom of it. You try to see, like, all right, is this going to be an ongoing situation? Because you got to believe that, all right, the Bucs did it. Obviously, we have games scheduled tonight. And if there's not going to be games tonight. Like, this is just the tipping point. They're not going to be playing games tonight. The other teams are going to follow suit because they're all NBA players.
Is it for real?
Yeah.
LeBron's playing. I think they play tonight.
No way.
LeBron, from the very beginning, has said they're not going to boycott or sit out games. So I just don't see it. I mean, maybe they do.
Yeah, but
maybe they do. They're not wrong.
Just like Charlie said, things changed. There's been another unarmed person shot in the back.
But is that going to? It's a problem on Wednesday, and tomorrow it won't be, and we'll just resume tip-off? That's where I'm like, so where does it stop then? You boycott this game. They're not going to play tonight because things change. So does that mean the NBA playoffs are just done after everything?
It might be. It might be.
It might be.
It might be.
And when we look back through history, I don't think people are going to care that the NBA season was canceled. I think they're more concerned about what we're going through in America right now is something we haven't seen since the 60s. I mean, this is going to be a huge moment in history. And, you know, Kev, you were talking about people who bellyache about protesters, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? One of the arguments I hear all the time is like, hey, man, only 9 black people unarmed were shot last year and 19 white people were shot last year. It's like, okay, so everyone should be concerned about this. That is what I'm hearing.
Right.
Like, I don't care. Look, if you don't like black people, that's a whole nother thing. But the fact that 19 white people were also shot unarmed, that is a problem for everybody then. You should care.
You shouldn't have to be black or white to say you shouldn't have to have that race in common with somebody to feel empathy for someone being shot. Like you should feel empathy for a person being shot, period. You should feel empathy for a person that is on hard times, regardless of their gender, regardless of their race or anything like that. That's called being humane. That's called having a heart, you know?
Yeah. And call these people out, man. Like, hey, you got a job to do. You know what I mean? Like, you guys, I'm sure you guys have days where you got some stuff going on in your life. But you know what? When you open that door and walk into the studio, you got to leave it at the door. Otherwise, you're going to take the day off. And that's the same for everybody.
PTO days.
I heard somebody tell one of my friends, hey, man, sometimes cops have bad days. That is no excuse. I can't even believe that came out of somebody's mouth. But and there are and you know what, on the other side there's awesome cops. If there wasn't,
absolutely,
we'd have chaos, you know. But
Charlie, make it quick, man. We got other callers, man. Make it quick.
All right. Hey, well, I really wanted to call in because that was on my mind, and Kev, I got your back, man. You guys
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Charlie, thank you, man. I appreciate it. 457-9464. If you're just tuning in, again, ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports that the NBA playoff game between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Orlando Magic that was supposed to tip off at 4 o'clock has now been, I don't want to say postponed. We don't know what's next because the Bucks have just boycotted the game, and we don't really know what's next. So the big questions marks are, is this going to be a forfeit? How is the NBA going to handle this? You mentioned the fine, Kev, and what's next as far as the game. I don't know what time the next playoff game is. You're adamant you don't believe that they play another game tonight. My thinking is I think they will play another game tonight, and if they don't, then I don't get how you justify playing tomorrow then, because the same problems will exist tomorrow that exist today. So if this is why are you boycotting one game? What makes the difference between sitting out today's game and then just playing again tomorrow? I don't get this, especially in the league. And again, I'm repeating myself, but in the league that has been partnered with them, I mean, it's been the NBA bubble has been nothing but an NBA PSA for speaking out against social injustices. So it's almost like turning on the league that has helped you this entire time. This isn't good for the NBA. And I know people are saying, who cares about the NBA during this time? But I mean, right now you have that platform to speak out against all this because of the NBA, and now you're turning your back on them. That's how I view that slightly. Maybe that's a little aggressive, but I don't like how that this is unfolding. If that's the case, if we're just done with the playoffs because of that, because I don't know what that, I mean, the social injustices have been talked about more now than in forever.
Yeah.
And it hasn't, I'm not saying that we should never talk about it because it's not going to help, but I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I just don't, in my gut, I don't feel like this was the right way to go about doing this. And now I sound like you need to protest the way I want you to protest so I feel comfortable. I just don't think, I don't know what this does, because if you go and tip off again tonight or tomorrow, then what was the point? Because we'll forget when LeBron steps out on the floor tonight, we're going to talk about the Lakers and all that, and we'll be like, oh, yeah, the Bucks, the 4 o'clock game yesterday didn't play because of blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about why they didn't do it, and then we'll move on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this route, to be honest with you.
I'll be perfectly honest. When I was watching some of the press conferences that they were showing yesterday, I can't remember what player it was, but he brought up a great point. Like, this isn't working. What we're doing isn't working. Us having Black Lives Matter on the court isn't working. What us having slogans on the back isn't working. what we're doing currently isn't working.
But you expect it just to be better overnight? I mean, trust me, we would love for it to be better overnight.
Right.
But that's not true that it's not working. Look at all the laws that are changing from state to state and city to city, and change is happening, but we're not focusing on the good. We only focus when something like this happens. Bring attention to it, yes. But to sit here and act like nothing's getting better, that so much has unfolded in a positive light, unfortunately, since George Floyd's death, but so much has changed just since then that it's like, oh, well, we could stop now because everything's good. All I mean is again, to act like, oh, we weren't focusing on it during these playoffs and now we are. Every commercial, Black Lives Matter on the court, every commercial break, it's, we're showing a vignette of a player talking about what, their ethnicity means to them. I don't know. I sound bad in this. I get it, but in
that same breath, and I don't want to get political because we know how some people get. But when you have Daniel Cameron from Louisville, Kentucky, who has the authority and has the power to arrest the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor, go on TV last night and say, I feel for Breonna Taylor's family. I understand what you're going through. And you still haven't done anything to arrest the people that went into her home and shot and killed her is disingenuous. So that's like what amps people's fire. When you say things like that and you have the authority to do something about it and you still don't do anything, it's just lip service. And that's how the NBA players feel like this is all coming down to. Like, yeah, it means something to us. We're trying to do something, but ultimately it turns into lip service, just like every other company releasing a statement on their website and then doing nothing about it. It turns into lip service. It turns into, yeah, we did it so we won't get canceled. Like, it turns into social media blotter and trying to figure out to do something because this ain't working. Like, it just ain't. I mean, obviously this has been going on for a long time, longer than you and I have been alive. But, my grandmother's 90 years old. We talk about, stuff like this all the time. And for her to understand, tell me and teach me things about what she went through, and to basically, for me to come to the realization that everything that her and people of her age fought for is come a ways. But you know what? I'm realizing that it ain't going to be fixed in my lifetime either. My grandmother's 90 years old. So she's not going to see the day that everything's great. And for me to really just hit me and dawn on me, like, I'm going to be dead before this thing is figured out. But I'm not going to be here.
And unfortunately, I agree with that. But that's my point. So when they say, all right, times are too tough right now, we shouldn't be playing games because all this is going on. Well, then if that's the case, no NBA game or sporting event should have happened from the 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way till now. And there shouldn't be anything played moving forward then, if that's the case. If we're not playing because things are bad, when will we see a game again if we're going to base it on that? That's my point. And again, I'm saying it and I'm coming across sounding like a jerk, and I get that, but I think it's fair to have to sometimes ask these questions to maybe reshape it a bit. Because that's what you're going to get.
It's a fair question to ask. And I mean, and sometimes like you just don't know. Sometimes you just don't know. You'd be like, some things aren't just as easy and cut and dry as like, well, we should play, well, we shouldn't play, we should boycott, we shouldn't boycott. I mean, as far as the fine and them getting a loss in the column in this series versus the Orlando Magic, it's sacrifice. To break it down to something that other people may be able to understand that play sports, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into playing football. You got defensive linemen who gobble up blocks so their star linebacker can make plays. You got big man out there setting pick and rolls so Steph Curry can get busy. It's sacrifice. You're sacrificing your body. And these guys are sacrificing, not only money, but they're sacrificing reputation. Let's believe like some of these companies that they endorse, probably we cutting those contracts with them. And, some people that looked up to these athletes may not be looking up to these athletes now. The amount of heat that LeBron James gets for speaking his mind, the amount of heat that Michael Jordan is now receiving for actually speaking his mind. Michael Jordan was one of those guys that just kept everything to himself. Republicans buy sneakers too line that got him heat. I mean, everything causes heat and causes people to feel a type of way. It's called sacrifice. If this is a sacrifice that needs to be made and those athletes deem it necessary, I'm with him 100%.
All right, 457-9464. We have, again, with the guys on hold, I promise you your calls are going to close out this hour. So just give us a few minutes to get to some of these commercials. We'll be back in just a few moments. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 93 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear down to a low of 73. And tomorrow, chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 89. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces around your home, office, or commercial property. Crack filling, asphalt sealing, and parking lot striping. Find us at culletsealcoating.com.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint. With our award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter, it's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you and your family and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh and never frozen and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Summer is winding down, and Rob's Beer Barn is stocked with summer refreshments, and they're going fast. Plus, fall beers have arrived. That means Rob's Beer Barn has you covered for all your gatherings. At Rob's, you can find all the ice-cold refreshments you'll need. Craft, imported, local and seasonal beers, fine wines, snacks, and ice. Rob's has it all. And for last-minute items, you can call, walk in, or drive through. Stop in and visit Rob's and stock up today. Rob's Beer Barn on Indian Ripple Road at Darst, just a mile east of the green. Rob's Beer Barn, look for the beaver.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So, have you noticed how everyone's grammar is completely awful now? Like, you know, the texting and the LOLs. Whatever happened to punctuation? I mean, drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It could be a routine drive to pick up the kids after school or an epic road trip across the country. No matter where your travels take you, we know those miles count. We're Marathon. We have over 5,700 stations across our great nation. Our people are working hard every day to provide you with quality top-tier gasoline to improve engine performance and fuel your life. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Ever wonder just how far an extra mile really goes? Drive a Mercedes-Benz van and find out. Start with a network of over 250 authorized dealerships, backed by a sales force ready to help you with everything from customization to service on vans like the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter that's tailored to your lifestyle, with options like blind spot assist and MBUX voice command for spoken directions, weather, and more.
The route is being calculated.
So whether you're enjoying life on the trail or working hard on the job, see how far an extra mile can really go by taking the first step into an authorized Mercedes-Benz van dealership today. Mercedes-Benz vans start at just $33,790, now with 0% APR financing for up to 60 months.
MSRP in a 2019 Sprinter van excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Some equipment described as optional. APR valid on 2019 Sprinter vans, excluding cab chassis, only to qualified commercial customers exclusively through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services at participating dealers through August 31st, 2020.
It's the summer clearance event at New Carlisle Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At New Carlisle, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com, where you can complete all aspects of the vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to assist veterans during this COVID-19 pandemic. Even though we are not meeting face-to-face, we are here for you. We understand it is a difficult time with this virus threat and the strain of implementing social distancing. For those Montgomery County veterans who have lost their source of income due to their employers having to close or reduce their business hours due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be eligible for COVID-19 Special Financial Relief Assistance. Please contact the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday for more information or to have an application sent to you. You can also visit mcvsc.org. The Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission is here to help Montgomery County veterans during the COVID-19 crisis. Call 937-225-4801 Monday through Friday or visit them online at mcvsc.org.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Changing your oil. We've got what you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil and an STP oil filter for just $26.99. Plus a $5 bonus reward if you're an AutoZone Rewards member. Not a member? Signing up is easy. You can do it right here in store or on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Oh, my stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismol's now in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And now you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Let me try it.
Try new Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
Tune in every Friday night at 7 o'clock for the ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Kettering Health Network Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Check out wingam.com for the complete schedule and archive games. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Fire Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Milwaukee Bucks boycott Game 5 of their NBA playoff series in response to the Blake shooting. And again, there's a lot more to this as we'll be keeping an eye on moving forward. Now, again, this is this matchup between the Magic and the Bucks is one of 3 games on slate for tonight. The 4 o'clock game was supposed to be the Magic and Bucks. Of course, that's officially been boycotted. And, ESPN's The Jump was on, was listening to that during the commercial break. And Rachel Nichols goes on to say that within the rule book, if you are not out on the floor when the game starts or when the game is supposed to start, that is not just that. I mean, you can call it a boycott, but by the rules, that's a forfeit. Mm-hmm. Whether the NBA is going to implement that or not, we do not know. I do not think they would be in the wrong at all to implement that, to say, hey, that's a forfeit. And the other thing is what happens to the upcoming games? 6:30 is supposed to be the next NBA game that tips off between the Thunder and the Rockets. And then tonight's game between the Lakers and the Trailblazers is a 9 p.m. tip-off. Now, LeBron, during this commercial break, we go and find it. He says, F this, man. We demand change. Sick of it. Now, I don't know. I mean, again, I know what he's referring to. What I mean is I don't know. What's LeBron going to do? Is he going to play tonight? You think he doesn't play. I still think these games go on. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, what's going on 5 o'clock. We'll have an answer shortly about whether or not the 6:30 game is going to tip off. I just not tipping off. I don't. Again, I know what the message is, but what that accomplishes big picture. And just, again, in our sports bubble here, what does that mean for the NBA playoffs? Because they'll be painted as hypocrites one way or another, because if you boycott a game because of what's going on, because, hey, we can't be playing a silly game when all this is going on in the world. Well, unfortunately, you mentioned it. It's sad. Like you've even said, like, these problems have been around for decades, and who knows, when these problems will be eradicated. But if we're going to base, hey, not playing a silly game during these times because of everything going on, we may never see a silly game again then. So the NBA is going to be tested on this because, like you said, you don't think they'll tip off at 6:30 at 9. But if they do, it doesn't water down what just happened here at 4 o'clock. But at the same time, it's like, okay, how unified are the players on this? Milwaukee's a little bit different. They're closer to the situation that happened. So I understand that. I don't know if it's going to be an isolated boycott or if it's going to spread throughout the league. But the NBA is going to be put in a situation where they have to be the bad guy or just go along with it. But the NBA is a business. At some point, the NBA is going to be like, guys, like, for one, I mean, who was it? Oh, it was Wojnarowski who said, well, that the NBA may not count as a forfeit, that they've been lax with the rules in the past, with the national anthem. Well, the national anthem protest didn't cost the NBA money. And you can argue that, okay, you lost viewers and blah, blah, blah. You lost some sponsors. But you just set out a whole game. You know how much money per game ESPN pays for those? I mean, the NBA TV deal is almost, billions? Trust me, that wasn't just a little, okay, we're going to talk about whether you kneeled to the national anthem or not. Your decision just cost the NBA millions and millions and millions of dollars. And is it wrong of the NBA if that's their mind frame of thinking in this right now? I wouldn't blame the NBA at all. I think the NBA has been very supportive of this, and we'll just see what's next. This is a very interesting turn in this playoff, and it's not really about the playoffs anymore, but it kind of is at the same time, because the NBA is like, it is about the playoffs. That's our business side of this that we've been able to take and kind of, include it in the message that they're trying to deliver. I don't know what's next.
It's not easy. It's not easy as 1, 2, 3. It's not as easy as like, oh man, every team should boycott. I'm sure that every player on the Bucks. Well, I don't know that. But I do know that it's not going to be 100% every player in the NBA believes that they should be playing. I don't think that every player in the NBA believes that they shouldn't be playing. It's not just simple as that. There's going to be a lot of dialogue. There's going to have to be something. And if the NBA decides to give them an L for this game, or decides to fine them and give them an L, they have their prerogative. Technically they can do that. And I'm sure the Bucks understand that. You got to understand that going into it. That's just part of making a sacrifice for something you believe in.
Of course, too, right now on Twitter, getting a lot of the hypocrisy of the NBA with what happened in Hong Kong. It's a very weird situation for the NBA, because think back to Hong Kong in the beginning. The NBA chose to ignore a lot of the things that are going on over there, the same things that they're trying to speak out here in this country. And I could see, to be fair, I can't defend that. I don't know what to say to that, because we're very passionate in this league about things that are going on in this country. So are we saying, okay, only things that happen in our country matter right now because they had LeBron and everyone didn't care about what was going on in Hong Kong back in the preseason? That's not a good look in this situation either. For those who are bringing that up, I can't ignore that when people, question that. Again, who am I to answer it, to be honest with you? But I'm just saying that is a bad look for the NBA too, is doing so many good things to bring attention to a lot of the injustices in this country. But that doesn't, go well for what happened back at the beginning of the season. Who we got on line 4?
Line 4, we got Rob.
Rob, thanks for holding, man. Appreciate it. How are you?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
This might not be the most popular call you guys are going to get, but...
let me get my seatbelt on real quick. Hold on.
All right. Okay, so here we go. It means absolutely nothing that the Milwaukee Bucks are sitting out this game.
Off to a good start.
It means absolutely nothing. And we all know that. It means absolutely nothing. Okay? It will mean something if they say, we want to go back to our hometown and we want to try to bring peace to the city. Try to, just help out wherever what they can do. Them sitting out this game means nothing. Okay?
I'm trying to get can you elaborate a little bit?
Well, what they should be playing this game. They need to be out there playing the game. Okay? That's what I'm just trying to say is they should be out there playing the game. Yes, they are upset about what happened. there's a lot of bad things that happen in this country. There's a lot of bad things that happen in cities, every day and every weekend. Okay? There's a lot of problems in this country, and a lot of people like to go to sports and watch sports.
Well, no one can go to watch sports right now.
Well, watch it on TV. They can't watch the Milwaukee Bucks play right now.
Well, I get that. And look, the one thing, this reminds me back in 2016 with the Colin Kaepernick thing when we were doing the whole, okay, you can protest, but you need to protest the way I want you to protest. The thing is, though, the whole purpose of a protest is to get you to talk about it. So when you say that it means nothing, it's accomplished it. I know that my take isn't very popular right now based on responses on social media, and I apologize if I'm coming across that way. But bottom line is that it's a situation where they have accomplished what they were looking to accomplish, and that is getting people to talk about it. Right now, that's all that's being talked about across the sports landscape is, you're right. There is supposed to be a game right now. What's your name? Who's Rob? Rob, you're right. There is supposed to be a basketball game right now, and there's not a basketball game right now, and that's why we are talking about it. So that's the purpose of a protest and what they're trying to accomplish here.
And so what you're saying is, and I know that Kev said that there might not be another basketball game tonight, right?
There's two more scheduled tonight.
Two scheduled.
Yeah, and Kenner, you're saying that there will be. So then if there's not going to be any games tonight, and the NBA players, what if they decide to say, hey, we want out of this bubble, we are protesting the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
What does the NBA do? Should the players be responsible for what the NBA is not getting as far as TV contract money?
Well, look, the NBA, right now, obviously the NBA, first of all, if the players leave, they leave, and the NBA will have to pick up the pieces from there. The message that the NBA players are trying to get across, they would have accomplished that because that's all that would be talked about. This is a huge deal what's going on with them sitting out of these games here. So the NBA would pick up the pieces. There would be financial ramifications that would go beyond just, okay, you're not getting paid for the playoff games that you skipped out on. Look, there's going to be a huge fallout from this. My big thing about why I think that there will be games later today is because if you say that we can't play any games moving forward because of everything going on in the world, then how do you justify waking up tomorrow to play games? Because the same problems will exist tomorrow. And I'm not justifying the problems in the world. All I'm saying is that. So it's going to be framed differently each day is my concern, and that's where we're at with it.
Right. And the gentleman calling before and saying that 19 white people were killed by police officers and they were unarmed, and then nine blacks and stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's an awful problem that's going on in this country right now. But there is a lot more serious problems that are going on than this too. And we all know that.
Well, and Rob, I appreciate the comment. I really do. I appreciate it. Yeah, I look. I'm not going to say that there are bigger problems than this. There are big problems in this country. This being one of them. Yes. Look, the thing is, the fact of the matter is, I am not trying to downplay what the NBAs are trying to accomplish. To reset here, because I'm getting ripped on social media here and blah, blah, blah. My true colors are showing. I just got that one. Your true colors are showing. My true color. Let's be clear here. I just got done saying that I've been in complete support of what the NBA's message has been from the very beginning, which is why I was kind of defending the NBA here, because the NBA, when you compare it to the NFL with where we're at with that, the NFL was the one that was continuously trying to keep the players from protesting what they were protesting. And that's why I was like, man, if there's a league that deserves the players to boycott games and sit out of their sport, it's the NFL. The NFL deserves. The NBA, I've been in support of their message, but I think that it is a situation where the NBA is the one that's really getting punished here, and the NBA has been on the side of the players from the very beginning. They put Black Lives Matter on the court. It's the NBA playoffs is nothing but a NBA PSA for the next month and a half, and in the last month and a half since it started. That's all it's been about. So the NBA has been in complete support of this from the very beginning, and now the NBA is left here with egg on their face. They're like, well, I thought we had an understanding that we were all going to be in this together and that we were going to support the message together, and now that message, now there's a divide here, and what happens next, I don't know. But the NBA, if they decide to follow through with the rule being that, okay, that's a forfeit, the NBA is going to be ripped and say, oh man, look at them not supporting the message here. But then if they don't, which I don't see the NBA doing that, Kev, because at the end of the day, this is a decision that costs the NBA millions and millions of dollars. How much money is the NBA out of because, ESPN charged, they bought that game, and ESPN does not have that game to air right now. That's all. That's where I'm going with this, is just basically saying I'm not against the message. I'm against the sitting out of an NBA game, a platform that, we've talked about this, in my opinion, sitting out of a game of a platform that was not given, that sounds, but but basically is there for you, that the NBA has been in complete support. The NBA is not the bad guys here, but they're the ones being crapped on for this, and that's why I just I'm uneasy with it, with this approach to it. I guess is my approach to that.
That's fair.
So now, whatever my true colors are, I'm pale. I don't know. I guess I'm paler on the inside of my forearm than on the outside. I don't know what showing my true colors means. So if you want to explain that, I'd love to have that conversation. So please, 457-9464. Let's go to Dave. Dave, thanks for holding.
Gentlemen, how you doing today?
Good.
Good. Hey, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what the last caller said. I think that sitting out a game by the NBA players doesn't get their message out any clearer. I think it's not going to stop what happened in Wisconsin. It has zero consequence, and it doesn't strengthen the message. It doesn't do anything. Because, obviously it doesn't do anything, because look what we just had happen yet again. Is there a solution? This is the Black Lives Matter movement, and all the movement that's going on is, I'm 49 years old. I've never seen anything like this as far as the push for, awareness and equal rights and everything. It's amazing. And I think it's long, long overdue. I think that, when we start talking about reform, we start, looking inside at the police departments. I think for every one white police officer that gets hired, I think the next one in should be a person of color, a minority. I think you got to even the playing field. And I think when they start doing that, and we get the police force to, a 50-50, we'll call it a 50-50 ratio of white versus or white, and then black police officers or minority police officers, that's where the change is going to start, because
so you're saying the only way that we get rid of police brutality is by you need more black police officers?
No, what I'm saying is I think
you're saying good police officers.
Playing field, because when stuff like this happens, the police are the ones who are taking the brunt of everything. And and I heard I was at work today, and obviously they should, but there was a couple people talking. They said nobody ever gets shot for complying with police officers. And I immediately turned around and I said, yeah, but why should you shoot an unarmed person if they're not complying? There's other means of controlling someone.
Well, to be fair, we've seen multiple social media videos where someone's reaching for their wallet or reaching for their ID. But no, I know what you're saying. To be fair, I'm not trying to counter argue with you on everything. You're right. The idea should be that. The idea should be that if you are complying with cops, that it should not result that way. But unfortunately, that is not always the case. And we're not talking about the times where it doesn't lead to something bad. The protests and everything have stemmed from the times that it does end, and not in something bad. It's beyond something bad. We're talking about people losing their life. So I get it. And I know everyone's angry with that too.
From society, I think that, we've got to look to level the playing field, because it's, I just think to be, and when I say, I don't think that police brutality would be solved by hiring more black police officers. I don't think that at all. I think that if we look to, and I keep calling it level the playing field, but if we equalize what's out there, I think it would make that would show change. What else can we do as a society? Obviously, we can prosecute the police officers, we can arrest the police officers, they can be fired, they can go to prison, and things like that are happening. But that doesn't stop, everything that's going on. I think that would be a good first step. And when athletes get involved, what LeBron James is saying, if that doesn't hit home for people who don't understand it, that, it's a scary time to be a black person. That's, as a white person, I would never know that. That's what really hits home. Okay. And so by these guys boycotting the game, that does absolutely nothing. It's not going to stop the next time this happens. So I don't necessarily know if there's a solution. I just think that measures have to be put in place. That when things like this happen, obviously,
Yeah, I hate to cut you off, but we have to hit this commercial break, so they're about to cut me off. So thank you. And to sum up what he was saying is, he was basically saying, Kev kind of doesn't know if this is going to accomplish that he's saying that there's just measures that need to be put in place to make that. Well, we know that. And those measures, some measures are being put in place, and there has been improvement. That was my argument from earlier. We'll see. Thunder and Rockets are boycotting Game 5. So the next playoff game is officially off the table.
Told you. Baker, call back. I don't know why you keep dropping, but Baker, call back.
So if they're not playing tonight, are they playing tomorrow? Are they going to play Friday, Saturday? That's where I'm at with this. I get boycotting, you're talking about it, but are we any better tomorrow than we are today? That's going to be the next thing. We'll finish out with your calls, talk a little Reds coming up when we come back. We'll get back to our NFL discussion, the Browns, Bengals, all that stuff. We'll get back into that when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Summertime is the perfect time for family fun. And for a family meal that's easy as a breeze, stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 10-piece breast strip meal for only $19.99. With Lee's, homestyle can happen anywhere with 10 golden brown breast strips, 2 large sides, and 5 fluffy biscuits. It's the easy way to turn up the eat this summer. Get a sit-down meal made easy with our 10-piece breast strip meal for only $19.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Total Wine & More is pleased to announce Points with a Purpose, our way of saying thanks by investing in the communities we serve. Now through September 13th, collect 5 times points on thousands of wines and spirits. For every point earned, a matching donation will be made to local charities, up to $2 million in total. A point for you is a point for your community. That's Points with a Purpose. Come shop with us today or visit TotalWine.com. See website for details.
Labor Day savings are now at the Home Depot, and your fall project list is now even more affordable. Use our mobile app to search, shop, and save. Flexible delivery options that bring everything you need right to your door. And if you need tools for a project, but not forever, you can rent them. You won't find a better toolbox anywhere else. Take on fall with Labor Day savings now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last valid through September 7th.
Goodyear knows why we all love basketball. It's the sound of the buzzer, the roar of the crowd, the swish of the net. It's the spin on the ball as it's released, the squeaking sneakers before an inbound pass, the timeout that gives us perspective on the moment. We love basketball because we love movement. And now that it's back, we're asking you, the fans, what moves you? Goodyear, more driven.
Allstate now has deeper savings, and deeper savings require deep thoughts and a deep voice, like mine. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise, and save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. As someone once said, saving today is money tomorrow. That's deep.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities, and the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at the Mopar Service Center at your local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership.
Food odor thrown off your game? Stick to a winning game plan with Odor Eaters, featuring 3 advanced odor and wetness fighters. The lineup provides long-lasting odor control, plus more to keep your feet on their game. Odor Eaters powder provides outstanding moisture control. Clear drying spray is the MVP in preventing athlete's foot, while insoles work continuously to manage wetness while adding a layer of comfort. Pick up today at Walmart, Target, CVS, Dollar General, or other fine retailers. Odor Eaters. Destroy foot odor with the best in odor defense.
Hi, folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95, plats of annuals starting at $12.95, and hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brant Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
You have empty office space to fill. You know what you need, and you know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places that what you need and what you'd like, that might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half price and below manufacturer suggested prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really. Desks from $50 to $5,000. File cabinets, $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Outlet. With 87,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. 2 locations. One at 23 McOil Street, Dayton. The other, Uniques Unlimited on South Dixie. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. Saturday, 10 to 4.
Hey, former Navy SEAL Cade Cordley here for 4 Patriots, and I'm here to prepare you for whatever crisis comes next. Now, in an emergency, your number one priority is food. The Red Cross and FEMA suggest at least 72 hours worth of food to be crisis ready. Today, 4 Patriots has a buy one, get one free deal on their 72-hour survival food kit. To grab this buy one, get one offer for yourself, go to getmorefood.com. Go now before they're gone. Getmorefood.com. That's getmorefood.com.
The Lowe's for Pros loyalty program gives pros personalized offers, purchase tracking, and more. Sign up at lowesforpros.com/pro-loyalty. Terms and conditions apply. U.S. only.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers with home daily lanes. $2,000 sign-on bonus, great pay and benefits. Contact Cody. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation. Driven to succeed.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
No, but maybe time for a reality check. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You ever wonder what that Nike logo's all about? The swoosh? I think I got it figured out. It's a sound all your money makes flying out of your wallet to pay for those things. That's why I wear Skechers, because Skechers has all the comfort, performance, and style I need for a price that is unbelievably affordable. Look, let's start with comfort. Nobody makes more comfortable, perfectly fitting shoes than Skechers, and all with Skechers' exclusive air-cooled memory foam. Plus, they have incredible style, and they're even machine washable, so you can keep them looking good for longer. Find your perfect pair at Skechers.com or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
You have to be up in 5 hours, 2 hours, 6 minutes. And when you hear, you realize that you haven't slept a wink. That's why there's ZzzQuil Pure Z's, a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally with no next-day grogginess. It's available in both liquid and gummies, tastes great, and is non-habit forming. Pick up ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil. ZzzQuil Pure Z's, naturally superior sleep. Available at retailers near you.
Okay, moms and dads, you gotta check this out. Target has all the easiest ways to check off your kids' entire list and get them ready for school. Like Drive Up. Order ahead and Target will load your school order right into your car's trunk. No contact required. Check. Or my personal favorite, Target School List Assist. Check off your kids' actual class list in a click and have it shipped to your door. Check and check. This year, check everything off the list with easy and contactless ways to get ready for school. Only at Target. Restrictions may apply.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, you. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle. WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show, live here on ESPN Dayton, 1410 Wing AM. Tweet the show at 1410 Kinner or give us a call at 457-9464. We now send you to the Wing Studios in Kettering. Here's your host, Justin Kinner.
All right, so not only have the Orlando Magic and the Milwaukee Bucks, not only has that matchup been boycotted, the second matchup between the Rockets and the Thunder has been boycotted, and now the Lakers and Portland Trailblazers have been boycotted as well, all three games. Now, Kev, you found out that the NBA has already decided on how they're going to handle this, because I keep saying, okay, well, the NBA, this should be forfeits then. It's kind of hard to. I mean, the Bucks initiated the first boycott, so right. I was like, well, that should be a forfeit. That should be a loss for them then. But now that you have the next two games, universally, I mean, do both teams get losses? I mean, I don't know how that works. So as far as that's concerned, right. No NBA games tonight, and that's fine. I'm all for using your platform to speak up for something. But all I'm saying is I just think it'll look a little weird if you play tomorrow. I mean, what's changed? If you're not playing today because of everything that's going on in this world right now, everything that's going on in this world is still going to exist tomorrow. So not playing today and then playing tomorrow, that's where, for me, I'm not able to oversee that. That's where I'm not making that connection as far as that's concerned. Ann on Facebook says, get off your high horse, Justin. Your opinions are irrelevant, except maybe to non-NBA Dayton, whatever that means. She said they will not lose any money, talking about the NBA, already quarantined, and the sponsors are loving this. Well, to be clear, Ann, to be fair, sponsors love getting what they pay for, and that's games, and there's no games tonight. So no, I think sponsors have been in support to the message, but I don't think that sponsors are going to be a fan of the millions of dollars that they spent on games not happening. So I disagree, Miss Ann, but thank you. I'm still trying to figure out
that NBA part.
My true colors are showing. That's what someone said earlier. I'm trying to figure out what that means for me here today. So again, all three games have been postponed for tonight. We don't know what that means. I mean, postponed means that they're going to be played again.
Right.
So, that's what the verbiage of the first one was interesting, because we're talking, okay, the first game was boycotted. Well, we don't know what that means as far as what's next. But now that the rest have been postponed means, well, they're going to play at some point. We just don't know when. We don't know what's next. I'm trying to figure out, let me see what games are on deck for tomorrow as far as that's
game, I want to say game 6, Clippers and Mavs.
And then Celtics, Raptors, Nuggets, Jazz.
Yeah. So
Nuggets, Jazz will tip off tomorrow, maybe at 4 p.m. 6:30 will be Celtics, Raptors, and then Clippers, Mavericks tomorrow night. And, so it's one of those where, so you had all 6 teams tonight sit out. Are you going to see, again, the same thing tomorrow with those 6 teams? And then maybe on, what day is today? Wednesday, Thursday. So then Friday play resumes again? I don't know. We'll see exactly. And of course, all players are not being allowed to talk to media, so we won't hear from players or LeBron James or anything along those lines. It's just interesting how all that's going to play out.
It is what it is. It's a sacrifice that they're willing to do. Back on 100%. And, we have to stop some people have to stop looking at professional athletes as strictly here for our entertainment. They're people just like everybody else. And, you know, I know some people think that, oh man, they need to be out there doing their job. This is their job to play basketball, and they should be honored to be playing in the NBA and making millions of dollars for this, to play a game. And that's why I always come at people when they say spoiled athletes. You know, just because you're an athlete doesn't mean you're not a person. And I think that's where we lose them as people, as individuals, as human beings, just like everybody else. We see them as superhuman because they can do unbelievable things on the field and on the court and everything like that, but they have feelings too. And maybe this is, you know, we have these here at the station, you know, mental health days. Like, maybe people need mental health days. Maybe like these people are just like, they're away from their families. They're inside a bubble. This is going on. Maybe this is weighing heavily on these guys. I mean, we don't know. Like, you know, we can take a mental health day all we want. You know, we can go to HR and be like, yep, need a mental health day. Peace. Ain't going to be here today.
You might get a text that says, why aren't you here today?
Hey, can you come set up this camera?
Ron Moreland on Facebook says, well, I know it's a big difference from what is going on than when 9/11 happened. Everything shut down. Yeah, but no, at the same time, I mean,
that's a fact.
But things went on after 9/11. Like, are we just not going to play basketball again until what? I mean, is there a certain amount of days that we need to see things get better before?
But I mean, he brings up a good point. Like, we did stop doing things for a couple of days to get our bearings, to react and try to get things back to normal. Like, hold on, just let me gather myself when 9/11 happened. It doesn't necessarily, just because they're not playing today doesn't necessarily mean they won't play tomorrow or the next day. And that doesn't necessarily mean things are going to be better the next day. It's just, hey man, let me take a step back, gather myself. Like, you know, if you have an Apple Watch, people out here that have an Apple Watch know how this is. Like, you'll get a reminder on your Apple Watch to say, calm down, breathe, take a deep breath, like a breathing exercise. Like, these are things that people need every once in a while. They are in a bubble. And I mean, I know people are like, well, they're in Disneyland. I would love to be in Disneyland for a month straight. Would you love to be in Disneyland for a month straight without your kids? Yeah,
I think people with kids are saying yes.
Like, yeah, me and my significant other. That's it. Probably.
I mean, but an off day, you have an off day tomorrow. The teams you play today are off tomorrow. So, I mean, again, I'm more debating this in the basketball side while being fully well aware. And again, if you've listened to the show long enough, we don't shy away from these conversations, and you know where I stand with this. But again, I'm just not able to overlook the again, and whether it's wrong of me or not, the sports side of this, of the fact that, okay, but again, you're seeing player comments or quotes of, you know, right now this is bigger than just a game. Well, again, is it bigger than just a game today? And then tomorrow we'll tip off and everything will be not fine, but everything will be back to just playing basketball in the midst of everything. You know, we're repeating ourselves as far as that goes. Let's go to Baker. Baker, thanks for holding.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. Baker.
Finally. All right. I haven't called in a while since Justin and Slumber laughed at me because I said that Mike Brown was probably one of the best owners in football, but that's for another day. I think that maybe they were using the wrong verbiage when all this started. It seems like this is not a protest, but the way I understood it is that the guys are saying they're not in the right frame of mind to play. So their mindset is just not right to play. Because I don't know what the end game is in this.
That's situation. A good phrasing. That's what and I'm gonna let you finish, but that's a good what the end game is. I guess that's what what's the end game here? Is the end game just for tonight and then back at play tomorrow? I mean, what's the end game here?
Right, and we always have to have an end game. Now, I understand that a lot of them are saying that we are here to entertain people, and we're not liking that fact right now because it seems like nothing's changing, but yet you guys want us to keep going out here and just dribbling, and like Laura Ingram said, just dribble and shut up. Well, they're tired of that, and nothing's changing. And the only thing you guys, or not you guys, but sports people just want them to basically go out there and just play. And they're saying, man, all this stuff is going on in the world, and we're not mentally able to handle this right now. Nothing's changing. Why are we entertaining people when we feel like that maybe those same people should be out helping us accomplish what we believe is the end game.
But that's, but to be fair, trust me, it's not like their job is to entertain us. Their job is to play basketball and make money. It's their job to go play basketball. It's not like they're not getting paid to play basketball. It's their job, and they're trying to make the fans sound like villains, like as if, oh man, like we're just so insensitive, and say, no, your job. Now, to be fair, a couple callers ago, they did say their job is to entertain us. So to be fair,
what I'm saying is that's what the fans are saying. Remember, if we go back just a few months when there was no sports, we just wanted sports. To bring back sport. We didn't care basically what was going on. Mm-hmm. We basically set that aside. We just want some type of sports. Okay, so the NBA came back, but yet this stuff is still happening. And because they're in a bubble, they're not able to communicate to their families the way they feel like they should be able to. I'm just assuming now that they feel like they should be able to take care of some of the social issues that's going on right now. What can they possibly do? Can have all the Black Lives Matter on the court that they want, but they're not able to do anything, whether it's through the media or however.
Well, to be fair, that's not true, because they were given an opt-out to not play, and they chose to play. And the only way but by playing, you have the platform to make you can't opt in to play to not play. Because if you opt out and don't play because you can't play during these times, that's fine and that's fair. That's why the NBA said you had until this date to let us know whether you were going to play or not. But then once you agreed to play, I'm not saying you got to play, but play.
The way I understand, I might be wrong, that they can leave a bubble at any time they want to. So that's what they're choosing to do. That's why they're not going to get fined. Because the way I understand it, that the NBA players, if for whatever reason they want to leave that bubble, they can. Now, they may not leave the bubble, but they're not going to play. Mm-hmm. And I think that is part of the agreement that they already have. That's why they're not getting fined for that. The only thing that I don't like about the whole situation is the NBA, it appears, have been very fair with the players. I just don't know what their end game is. It might help me be a little, more accepting to what they are. Well, I'm accepting to what they're doing, but it may make more sense if I just knew what their end game is. It can't be to completely solve injustice that's going on in the world by Friday, because we know that's not going to happen.
Right.
So whatever their end game is, I just wish they would come out and say, look, do they want the NBA to come out and basically put pressure on the police departments? I don't know what it is. There has to be something, though.
No, I'm with you. No. You are making sense. And that's why earlier when you said the end game, that's why I pointed that out. Because I said earlier, if you're not playing today's games because of everything going on, with all due respect, and I'm not making light of it, but those same problems are going to exist tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So if we're just saying, hey, we're not playing during these times because of everything going on, and then it's going to be a long, long time before you play then, if that's your actual mindset as far as that's concerned.
Well, I think mentally they can get together and talk and figure out what that is, but it just happened so quick that this is the avenue that they're going to take. And last thing I'll say, go Eagles.
Hey, and if we laughed at you about the Mike Brown comment, I apologize for laughing at you about that. I'm just a Browns fan, so you know. Don't let that be why you don't call back for a while.
No problem. We good.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. 457-9464. All right. So, again, to sum up, 3 games tonight. No more. All the games postponed tonight. Again, the Milwaukee Bucks, Orlando Magic. You have the Houston Rockets and, of course, the Thunder. And then the Lakers in Portland, the Trailblazers, that game. All those games are postponed. And we'll keep an eye on what's next. Tomorrow's slate of games right now, as of now, are on, and we'll find out tomorrow if those games are postponed. Maybe you get tomorrow's games postponed, and that means every team sat out a game, and then you pick up on Friday. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on what's going on as far as that's concerned. Let's transition over to your Cincinnati Reds, because the Cincinnati Reds, their season continued to flush down the toilet last night. Another loss to the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Reds, they made a change today. Will it be enough to spark a run for your Cincinnati Reds, who are right now desperate to try to get back into the playoff conversation? If the playoffs started today, 16 teams get into the playoffs, and they're nowhere close to being in the playoff hunt as of right now. They got to figure it out. I compared David Bell to Freddie Kitchens. He's the Freddie Kitchens of Major League Baseball. He has all this talent on a roster and can't figure out how to win with it. That's quite embarrassing. So we're going to get into that when we come back. By the way, I have to share this. John Rothstein, CBS Sports, tweeted last night that the A-10 for the conference of the Dayton Flyers, the A-10, they are not a mid-major conference. They just don't have the resources as a Power 5. But that's the definition of a non-Power 5 conference. That's a definition of a mid-major conference. You know what I mean? Like that's like me saying I'm not short, but I'm just not tall enough to ride that ride. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyways, we'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 93 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear down to a low of 73. And tomorrow, chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 89. I'm Leanna Ray for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Here's a question for you. Which Miami Valley golf course was voted the #1 golf course in the Dayton area? It's Turtle Creek Golf Course. Another question. Which golf course was rated the #4 best public golf course in the state of Ohio? That's right, Turtle Creek. And which course was rated the 18th best in the USA with green fees under $50? Right again, it's Turtle Creek. Here's my last question. When are you going to get your pals together to come out to Turtle Creek Golf Course and play? We're an easy drive to Greenville. See you soon at Turtle Creek.
Not so long ago, lots of things made people happy.
I used to love going to the gym.
I miss saying good morning to my coworkers. Today, there are still things that can make people happy.
Oh, how pretty.
A beautiful bouquet of flowers will definitely make someone happy.
First Florist and Greenhouses can help you make someone happy. Go to firsttheflorist.com, choose a bouquet, and they'll deliver it safely. Make someone happy with First Florist and Greenhouses.
It's the summer clearance event at Key Chrysler. I'm Chris Toby. At Key, our primary focus is your safety and ours. We are practicing safe social distancing. Probably like you, we hate it, but we are wearing our masks, and we are diligently cleaning the dealership. If you're more comfortable handling your sales and service needs from home, we can help you. Visit TobyAuto.com, where you can complete all the aspects of a vehicle purchase, including financing and trade appraisals, schedule service, or simply get a question answered. Most importantly, stay safe out there. We will get through this together.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at the Mopar Service Center at your local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership.
It's a new season. And at Sport Clips Haircuts, all of our stylists are clean certified and guy smart. So come in and get yourself back in the game with our legendary MVP experience. It's a mancation with our hot steam towel, relaxing shampoo, and a winning cut. Check in online and walk out with confidence. Sport Clips, it's good to be a guy.
And you be stepping out like pro.
Finding the next job is a big job, and that part of what you do is a little tough right now. Because of that, Lowe's for Pros is here to help. Get $400 in leads on us with a free 1-year subscription from Home Advisor to connect to jobs that make sense for you. Sign up at lowesforpros.com/pro loyalty to get started. Just one more reason why Lowe's is the new home for pros. Now let's get to work. Subscription and $400 lead credit subject to Home Advisor's approval and terms. Valid for new Home Advisor customers only. Lowe's loyalty required. More terms apply. Valid through 9/9 US only.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what covering your bases is in baseball, right? Making sure you have no holes in your defense. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. And you'll pay up to 50% less than big carriers and still use their same networks. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data and 2G. No contract, no mystery fees. Fully covering your bases for 50% less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Message and data rates may apply up to 5 messages a month. TNC and privacy policy found at warbyparker.com/terms.
Need new glasses, but don't feel like leaving your house to shop? No problem. Warby Parker can help you out. Pick 5 pairs of Warby Parker frames, and they'll send them to your house for free. Try them on, take your time, get some opinions, see which ones you like. To get started, just text C to 64,000. Keep the frames for 5 days and send them back when you're done. It's super easy and it's totally free. If you find a winner, Warby Parker will send you a fresh pair outfitted with your prescription. Their high-quality glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. That's right, including the prescription lenses. There's no need to travel to an optical store. With Warby Parker, you can shop for glasses anytime, anywhere. Try 5 frames for free today with Warby Parker. Text C to 64,000 to pick your 5 frames to try on at home for free. Text C to 64,000 to get started for free. That's SEE to 64,000.
Welcome to Pipestone Golf Club with a 4-star rating from Golf Digest and recognized as the best course to play. Pipestone is a favorite in the Miami Valley. The Arthur Hills design masterpiece is carved into the sweeping foothills and ancient oaks of southwestern Ohio. The course provides a quality challenge to golfers of all levels, and everyone is welcome. Be sure to call for a tee time, then bring your friends and play America's greatest game on a golf course that truly sets itself apart. Pipestone, a great golf experience.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Changing your oil. We've got what you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil and an STP oil filter for just $26.99, plus a $5 bonus reward if you're an AutoZone Rewards member. Not a member? Signing up is easy. You can do it right here in store or on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ugh, my stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismol's now in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And now you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Let me try it.
Try new Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey, you. Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. The Reds are on the radio.
Every hit, every strikeout, every home run.
It is gone into the second deck and left. A 2-run home run by Eugenio Suarez.
Cincinnati Reds baseball. Catch every game right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
All right, everybody, we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. So we do have Reds baseball tonight. Reds and Brewers, maybe. After the Milwaukee Bucks decided to boycott their Game 5 NBA playoff game tonight with the Orlando Magic, which ultimately led to a league-wide postponement for all the games tonight. Now the Reds, who are on the road playing at Milwaukee, now the Milwaukee Brewers, according to multiple reports, had a meeting about 25 minutes ago to discuss the status of their game against the Reds tonight, as there could be a situation where the Brewers boycott tonight's game and sit out against the Cincinnati Reds. Again, that comes from Adam McCulvey. And again, he's with MLB.com, Brewers beat writer. So I'm trying to get an update on that. As of right now, though, if there is a game, it'll be the Reds and the Brewers tonight. 8:10 will be the first pitch. 7:40 the pregame. And the Reds made a little bit of a shakeup today. They kind of shook things up a bit. Joey Votto last night went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts and an error. And we just got done talking about Joey Votto yesterday. We just got done talking about everything that's been going on, with Joey Votto's struggles as far as that's concerned. And the one thing that frustrates me so much about the manager and Bell. And David Bell for the Reds is, how can a guy that is so stat-oriented, so stat-driven, ignore the bad stats when it comes to Joey Votto? How is Joey Votto leading off for your Cincinnati Reds? How has he been the everyday leadoff guy for your Cincinnati Reds? How is he the everyday first baseman for your Cincinnati Reds? Let's be clear. As great as Joey Votto has been in his career, won an MVP, he's a part of the Reds playoff runs, in the early 2010s, but the Reds lost and finished in last place multiple times with them. They could do it without him. You don't need Joey Votto to finish in last place or second to last in the NL Central. And that's where the Reds are again. The playoffs started today. The Reds aren't even sniffing a playoff spot. More than 2 games out of the wild card, 4.5 games back from the division. And although that may sound like, 4.5 games, that's striking distance. Not when you only have 32 games remaining. Not when you only have 32 games remaining. This has been an embarrassment of a season for your Cincinnati Reds. I joke, but I'm being serious at the same time. David Bell is the Freddie Kitchens of Major League Baseball. Not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. People last year, the reason, you can make fun of the Browns all you want, but even those who mocked the Browns when you had media who were giving the Browns attention and saying how good that they are, the Browns who got all that love about the potential playoffs last year, they deserved that talk because of the changes they made in the offseason. They deserved the talk because of everything that Baker Mayfield did in his rookie season. They deserved it. Freddie Kitchens squandered it. Freddie Kitchens lost with talent. Freddie Kitchens lost with so much talent. And that's what David Bell is doing right here with your Cincinnati Reds. How do you lose with 3 of the best pitchers in baseball? How do you lose with the bullpen that had Michael Lorenzen and Amir Garrett and Iglesias were supposed to be the trio that was going to anchor down that bullpen? Nate Jones isn't bad. I like Nate Jones. I like him. These guys just aren't pitching well. They're not hitting well. They're the worst hitting team in the National League. Second worst hitting team. If not, I think the Pirates are. They're the second. It doesn't matter. The fact that you are the Cincinnati Reds with all this talent and you're down in the basement with the Pirates, give me a break. It's embarrassing. David Bell loses with talent. He is the Freddie Kitchens of Major League Baseball. It is embarrassing. This team has been embarrassing. And last night, Joey Votto was embarrassing. Joey Votto is a hindrance to this team. He's a liability. He's a liability. I never thought I would say this, but he is now a liability with the bat in his hand. He is a liability on defense. He is a liability as your leadoff hitter. When you're hitting 200, you're a liability as a leadoff hitter. And now hitting 193 after last night's fiasco, he is a liability. He's a liability on the base paths when he does get on base. Remember that game a few weeks ago? I think it was against the Royals. The Reds had a chance to win the game. Joey Votto gets a big base hit. The bases are loaded, and they ended up not bringing a run in. But then Joey Votto, who would have had a chance to step back into the box later in the game with the game on the line, they had to have Jankowski hit. Actually, it wasn't Jankowski. Jankowski was pinch running. He came in to pinch run. They had to bring in, I already forgot his name. That's bad on my part. I literally forgot his name. They just released him. No, they just released him. It's going to drive me nuts. If you know who I'm talking about, folks, help me out here. But again, Votto should have been up with the game on the line late in that game, and he couldn't because why? Because he was a liability on base. He can't run. He can't run. He can't hit. He can't field. He can't lead off. What the hell can he do? David Bell, enough is enough. I'm not saying to bench Votto for good, but Votto, stop putting him out there every single night. David Bell makes no damn sense. You'll have a guy that will be on like a 5 or 6 game hitting streak, and then you'll sit him because of the player matchup. But then you'll have a guy that is hitting 200 or lower all season long, and you play his ass every single day? That doesn't make any sense. You deserve to be in second to last place. You deserve to be in last place. The fact that you're anywhere within a couple of games of the Pittsburgh Pirates is a damn embarrassment. And I'm sick of everybody on Facebook and Twitter who defends David Bell. It's an embarrassment. You should be winning with this group. This isn't rebuilding. I keep hearing David Bell try to utter the words "the process" like he's the freaking Philadelphia 76ers. He had the nerve to bring up the process in the press conference 2 nights ago. No, the process is over. The process is done. The process was Brian Price. Brian Price experienced the process. You were supposed to come in and reap the rewards of the process, and you are making them more embarrassing than when they were going through the process. It's ridiculous. It's a damn embarrassment. The Cincinnati Reds are a joke, and it's very frustrating because I let them get me excited. I thought we were going to be talking Reds playoffs game this year. I've worked here for 7 years. Not once. In the time that I've been here, I've not once been working at this station while the Reds are in the playoffs. And that's annoying to me. I want the Reds in the playoffs. You want the Reds in the playoffs. But people defend David Bell. And I know I complain about David Bell a lot. And I'm going to continue to complain about him until the guy wins or is gone. because I like David Bell, but this isn't about this isn't about whether you like somebody or not. I like you a lot more if you win games. You want to rip on Dusty Baker. People roll their eyes when you bring up Dusty, but Dusty Baker won games. He got you to the playoffs. Oh, but he didn't win when he got there. I'll take that any day right now. I'll take the Marvin Lewis-esque problems. I think the Bengals, with as much of a joke as they've been over the last how many years, I think that they would kill for the days of, oh yeah, we can't win in the playoffs, but at least we're in the playoffs. Those days, like when you thought you were miserable when the Reds or when the Bengals weren't winning in the playoffs, it's sad how those were the good days, right? When we were mad because the Reds and Dusty Baker couldn't get out, the wild card rounds and the first rounds, those were the good old days. Because these are the horrible days. Everyone that said Dusty Baker was bad. David Bell is worse. Because Dusty could win with talent. Everyone always says that too. Oh, Dusty Baker, let's see what he does with a team without talent. He'll do what every manager does with a team without talent. Lose, you morons. I mean, that's what you do. When you don't have talent, you lose. That's why Brian Price, who knows if he's a good manager or not? He never got a chance to show it because they were horrible. It was an embarrassment of a roster. Your ace was DeSclafani, who is the number 5 pitcher in this rotation right now. When your ace is the number 5 pitcher in today's rotation, that's a problem. You're not going to win a lot of games that way. What do you think Brian Price, who was known for being a pitching coach, what do you think he would have done with a Trevor Bauer and a Sonny Gray and a Luis Castillo and an Amir Garrett? He did have Amir Garrett and he did have Michael Lorenzen and those guys at the beginning. But again, the process. That was the process. That was the figuring out point. They're finished products now. What can you do with them? Not a dang thing if you're David Bell. And it's frustrating. I'm sick and tired of talking about the Cincinnati Reds always in last place because they're too dang good. Now you could say it. The roster's too dang good. They are the Cleveland Browns of Major League Baseball, a roster that is super talented, that when you look at that roster and you look at where they're at record-wise and in the standings, you say, how in the hell? Freddie Kitchens, that's how, and David Bell, that's how as well. 457-9464. So the good news is that the Reds decided to shake things up a bit. They decided to mix it up a bit. Joey Votto not in the lineup tonight. He's not leading off. Shogo Akiyama is leading things off tonight. Shogo Akiyama leading things off for your Cincinnati Reds in center field, which, by the way, hold on. Before I do this big dramatic starting lineup, let me see here to make sure that the Brewers have not postponed the game because that's where we are waiting to find out. Again, no word. And if you've heard it, again, we're on the air, so it's kind of hard to track that the entire time. But if you've heard it, let me know. So as of right now, Reds and Brewers, 8:10 the first pitch, 7:40 the pregame. Shogo Akiyama will lead things off in center field and bat first. Nick Castellanos in right field will bat second. Batting third, the DH, finally, Jesse Winker in the top half of the order. How about that? Common sense says, good job. Eugenio Suarez, third baseman. He'll get the spot, or he'll get the fourth spot in the cleanup spot. Mike Moustakas will bat fifth and at first base. So no Joey Votto in the lineup tonight as Mike Moustakas will get the start at first. Freddie Galvis will move over to second base. And then in left field, batting seventh is Mark Payton. Jose Garcia will make his Major League Baseball Reds debut tonight. He'll get the start at shortstop and bat eighth, and batting ninth, Tucker Barnhart. So one more time, Shogo Akiyama, Nick Castellanos, Jesse Winker, 1, 2, and 3. Your 4, 5, and 6 hitters belong to Eugenio Suarez, Mike Moustakas, and Freddie Galvis. And 7, 8, 9, Mark Payton, Jose Garcia, and Tucker Barnhart. Sonny Gray pitching tonight, and we'll see if the youth movement, is going to be good. You either are going to have a youth movement or you're going to be euthanized. Either way, this Reds team is in for hopefully a spark. And by the way, you want to give a team a spark? Go get Puig. That's how you get a spark. That's a guy that'll bring you a spark. I saw Mo Egger with The Athletic 1530 out of Cincinnati. He put an article out with The Athletic saying, let the kids play. Let the kids play. You let the kids play when you're rebuilding. Not when you have playoff expectations. You have one more year, Trevor. You have one more week, possibly, of Trevor Bauer. And you're going to let the kids play? I hope this thing works out with Jose Garcia. It looks good in spring. A lot of good reviews. We'll see if it's enough to turn it around. Real quick, a couple playoff responses. Shout out. He said that's a great comparison, the David Bell to Freddie Kitchens comparison. Chris Harold says Votto's paid too much to keep him on the bench. Unfortunately, that's true. I never complained about the Votto contract because the thing is, when you sign these guys to those max extensions or those max contracts, you're not going to get, if it's a 12-year deal, you're probably getting 8 years of productivity. The problem is the Reds are on the back end. They're not getting that productivity, and Joey Votto is making the majority of his money in the back end of his contract. It just looks worse. Bench him. Pay up. Votto's paid too much to keep on the bench. Well, there's too many guys on the roster that are paid too much to be in second to last place right now. Mike says, when we needed Votto last night, 0 outs, bases loaded. The bat never left his shoulder. Absolutely. Brewers sit out. The Reds will still find a way to lose. All right, there you go. And then Ron Howard says you can blame Bell for stupid decisions, but Dick Williams should be fired. I disagree. I don't think, not Brian Price. David Bell was a good hire. He just hasn't been a good manager. Like, I never understood that. It's like in the NBA draft, Major League Baseball draft. Everyone, when you draft someone and hire someone, it's always the best hire in the world. It's the best draft pick in the world. And there's always plenty of reasons why you draft guys when you do or hire guys when you do. You just don't find out if they're bad till after. Now, that's why you got to do your homework, but sometimes you just don't know till you know. David Bell's doing what all the good managers are doing. David Bell just hasn't been able to figure out a way to do it in a winning way. We'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Wendy Knoll Golf Club in Springfield is Central Ohio's premier link-style golf course, but it's much more. The Stables, our full-service restaurant, includes outdoor seating and Friday night local entertainment. The Derby Banquet and Conference Center fits up to 150 guests and is the perfect setting for corporate, school, wedding, and family events. You feel like you're at an exclusive private club, but Wendy Knoll and all its world-class amenities is open to the public, and everyone is welcome. Visit WendyKnollGolfClub.com for more information.
I saved big money with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, so I finally bought that new set of golf clubs. Watch out, Fairway. Here I come.
This is not a real testimonial. Sure, customers can save big with Progressive, but your other expenses won't just disappear. Are those clubs going to help you when the hot water heater dies? Also, it sounds like your money is better spent on golf lessons.
Time to go shoot the course record.
No, but maybe time for a reality check. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You ever wonder what that Nike logo's all about? The swoosh? I think I got it figured out. It's the sound all your money makes flying out of your wallet to pay for those things. That's why I wear Skechers, because Skechers has all the comfort, performance, and style I need for a price that is unbelievably affordable. Look, let's start with comfort. Nobody makes more comfortable, perfectly fitting shoes than Skechers, and all with Skechers' exclusive air-cooled memory foam. Plus, they have incredible style, and they're even machine washable, so you can keep them looking good for longer. Find your perfect pair at Skechers.com or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
WGU is different than any other university. Accredited online learning you can do at any time. No lectures. Study when and where you want. Nonprofit WGU orients everything we do around you. You receive a dedicated mentor to guide you through your degree attainment. Our technology and learning environment is built around you. WGU degree programs start at the first of the month, all year long. Visit ohio.wgu.edu.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Where's the money, Karen?
I'm sorry, the money?
The money you saved by having Liberty Mutual customize your home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, that money. I used it to add to my collection of clown paintings. Take a look.
Amazing. Wow.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
These days, it's okay to do some things halfway, like wearing your pajama bottoms on a work call. But managing your prescriptions shouldn't be one of them. That's why CVS has a proprietary search tool to find ways that may help lower your prescription costs, and will deliver them too. No wonder CVS customers are better than most at staying on prescriptions, which tends to make you healthier. Come in or call today and get a free prescription savings review at CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Ask pharmacist for details.
Meadowbrook at Clayton, formerly Meadowbrook Country Club, is now completely open to the public. Not just the classic golf course, but the entire facility as well. As a former country club, our event rooms and services are exceptional. From weddings and receptions, class reunions, large and small meetings and parties, Meadowbrook has both indoor and outdoor facilities that can accommodate from 10 to 300 guests. If you're looking for a first-class, affordable location for your special event, check out Meadowbrook at Clayton. We're open to the public.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with Stain Shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Looking for the perfect way to take it easy this summer? Just pick up a home-style meal on the go at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken with our 3-piece breast strip combo for only $6.29. Drive in hungry and drive out happy with 3 of Lee's unbeatable breast strips, an individual side, a fluffy biscuit, and a regular drink. Trust us, these strips are worth the trip. Get a sit-down meal made easy with our 3-piece breast strip combo for only $6.29. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Summer is winding down, and Rob's Beer Barn is stocked with summer refreshments, and they're going fast. Plus, fall beers have arrived. That means Rob's Beer Barn has you covered for all your gatherings. At Rob's, you can find all the ice-cold refreshments you'll need. Craft, imported, local, and seasonal beers, fine wines, snacks, and ice. Rob's has it all. And for last-minute items, you can call, walk in, or drive through. Stop in and visit Rob's and stock up today. Rob's Beer Barn on Indian Ripple Road at Darst, just a mile east of the Green. Rob's Beer Barn, look for the beaver.
It's a new season, and at Sport Clips Haircuts, all of our stylists are clean certified and guy smart. So come in and get yourself back in the game with our legendary MVP experience. It's a mancation with our hot steam towel, relaxing shampoo, and a winning cut. Check in online and walk out with confidence. Sport Clips, it's good to be a guy.
And you be stepping out like a pro.
And now a game of commercial chicken brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Oh, hi. Okay, guess we should talk about something. Kind of tough to be put on the spot. Not sure what to say. But I know what I'm definitely not talking about. Drivers who switch to Progressive because they big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Staples helps your business go big with everything you need at amazing prices. From office essentials like paper and ink to health essentials like masks and sanitizer. Save big at Staples.
Follow ESPN 1410 Wing AM on Facebook to watch The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Listen, stream, and now watch. It's The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Back to the famous WING studios. Here's Justin Kinner and Kev Nash.
The Lakers will not lose tonight. Neither will Portland. I disagree.
Damn time.
No NBA tonight. All 3 games have been postponed. It started with the Milwaukee Bucks coming out to boycott tonight's game. And that led to a snowball effect. The other 2 games were canceled. We don't know about the status of tomorrow's games. As of right now, we do have Reds baseball tonight. Reds and Brewers, 8:10 the first pitch, 7:40 the pregame. Following the Milwaukee Bucks and out of the NBA's decision to boycott tonight's game, the Brewers apparently are having a big team meeting right now involving the same discussion. What comes out of that, and again, I've checked Twitter, refreshed a few times. I've reached out to a few people. The 2 responses I got back are, I know about as much as them right now, and they actually cover the team. So that's where we're at with that. Plan for Reds baseball tonight, 8:10 the first pitch, 7:40 the pregame right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. So I got word of this earlier today. Last thing before we let you go here, this was good news because with so much going on in the world of college athletics, being impacted by COVID-19, Wright State fell below the 14-team minimum back in June. And they had to cut 3 Division I sports, and you have to have at least 14, I believe, to remain D1 eligible. Wright State went below that to 11. They had to file a waiver with the NCAA to remain D1, and we've just been sitting in a holding pattern. There's been quite a few schools who, in a similar situation as Wright State, got the waiver denied, and I was getting kind of nervous, but I got word today. And again, there's been no official announcement of this put out from the school, but I did get word today that they did get the waiver approved, which is good news. And again, I don't know how long the waiver is for. before. Some schools who have been in similar situations have been told you have 2 years to kind of recuperate from this and to be able to bring some programs back. It doesn't have to be the same programs they cut, but interesting. So Bob Grant, the athletic director for Wright State, will join us later this week. In fact, he's going to join us on Friday, and we'll get more information as far as that's concerned. But that is good news, and that gives them more time to be able to fix some things and everything along those lines. College basketball season, I'm telling you right now, if football's kicking off on time, basketball better not be delayed. You can't justify it. Less people, less moving parts. You could schedule closer. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it.
Then I won't talk.
There you go. I wouldn't want you to end the show being wrong. By the way, the Bengals.
Oh, like I was wrong about no NBA today?
Anyways, I got nothing. I'm doing this like no carbs thing, and I have a headache, and I hate this.
Told you, man.
I hate it. It's stupid.
No, it's not gonna be stupid. Just you'll be happy when you down in Florida on the beach and you got your 2-pack.
No, I'll be happy when I stop at Kramer's on the way home and get a pizza. How about that? And a 40.
Ooh.
I can't have the 40 either. All right,
get
folks.
loose tonight.
Have a great night. We'll do this again tomorrow. Take care.